to you in part by Fremont Chevy Buick GMC, Bailey Tire Pros, Porter's Mountain View Supply, Gambles and Lander, the Wyoming Department of Transportation, and Wyoming Catholic College.
Lander Tiger football is on the air.
1, 2, 3.
To bring you the action, let's head to the stadium. Here is Scott Fuller.
And a good Friday evening, everyone. Welcome to the Nebraska border in Torington, Wyoming for Lander Valley Tigers football on AM 1330 KOVE. Streaming video at county10.com. I'm Scott Fuller, Mick Pryor in the broadcast booth to join us momentarily. This is the Porter's Tailgate Show, brought to you by Porter's Mountain View Supply in Riverton, your one-stop shop for grills, spas, stoves, pellets, and more. Porter's is a proud supporter of Fremont County athletes. Tonight, Lander looks to continue an early season win streak after 3 consecutive victories to start the season over Green River and Powell at home, and a victory over Evanston and the Red Devils on the road last Friday night. Tonight, the road trip continues. Tigers are in Torrington to take on the 2-2 Trailblazers. That team, this matchup representing Lander's first conference matchup of the season, represents Torrington's first conference matchup of the season. Again, Lander 3-0 on the season. Torrington Trailblazers are 2-2. Let's bring in Mick Pryor. Last week in Evanston, road victory, not necessarily with a final score of 50-18, I believe it was. Not necessarily indicative, Mick, of the way that game played out, but it is a big win on the scoreboard. And where do you think this Tigers team is heading into their conference season?
I think this is the conference.
We have one of the game's referees is up here in the broadcast booth checking out our technology. These are really snazzy. They're quite handy.
I used to do South High Bison's internet broadcast.
Oh, awesome.
For years. And I was going to get a real broadcaster, but I fell in love with roughing. So.
Gotcha. Have a good call. Have a good game.
No, Scott, I think this is probably the crossroads game for kind of the broader trajectory of the season. It's as you look at Torrington on paper and you look at them out in the field, I think we're probably, on paper, we're looking at a relatively evenly matched team to the Tigers. As I look at it size-wise, at this moment, Torrington looks a little undersized relative to the Lander starting lineup at the minimum. And as I look at their roster, we've got quite a few freshmen on this. Like, I don't know if they'll play,
team,
but yeah, quite frankly, this is probably the most equal of matchups we've seen thus far for the Tigers.
So we're going to run down the stats a little bit later here on the Porter's Tailgate Show, but it looks even better for the Tigers when you look at through 4 games for the Blazers and 3 games for the Tigers. Offensive numbers look very good. No common opponents to this point, so there's that. You got to play the game, but as things are looking for the remainder of the schedule for the Tigers, this is one you have circled because you've played a couple of teams in 3A, outside of conference in 3A, in Green River and Powell, who are a little bit rebuilding. They're a little bit on down years, so you kind of have an expectation you're going to win those games. They do. They took care of Evanston on the road. This is the first one of the season where I've thought, if you win this game, you might start getting a little bit excited.
Stacking.
Yeah. And that leads into next week is a Douglas matchup, which is always an entertaining game. And then you have the Riverton-Lander game 2 weeks from tonight, as a matter of fact. So we're going to continue on with the Porter's Tailgate Show. I have to tell you, making many, many years doing this, it's the first time a referee has come to our broadcast position and admired our equipment. Did you have a chance to slip him a 20?
Well, all I had was singles, so,
okay.
But don't worry, Scott. I think I got enough out into his pocket this time around, so we'll see.
All right, so we are about 26 minutes from kickoff. Let's take a break. Step aside, come back with more of the Porter's Tailgate Show here on 1330 KOVE and county10.com.
Construction is a local contractor dedicated to our community. We're proud to support our student athletes in every sport, on and off the field. We believe in hard work, crafting excellence, and building legacies one project at a time. We bring your vision to life. Visit GoddardConstruction.com to see what we can create for you. Goddard Construction, building Fremont County one project at a time.
Discover personalized banking at Central Bank and Trust. We offer personal and business banking tailored to your needs. Enjoy the convenience of our online banking platform, whether managing accounts, applying for mortgages, or going paperless. With branches across Fremont County, we provide drive-through and lobby services. Experience simpler applications for mortgages and loans, all from your computer or mobile device. Connect with us at centralbanktrust.com.
At Fremont Motor Companies, Wyoming isn't just where we operate, it's where we belong. For over 85 years, we've stood alongside our community through life's big moments, from turning the key to turning the page in every journey that follows. Here, customers become neighbors, and neighbors become family. Visit us today at Fremont Chevrolet GMC Riverton or online at FremontChevyGMCRiverton.com. We are Wyoming. Together, let's drive.
We are Maven. We focus on the fundamentals, clean, simple designs with the very best modern materials and technologies. We refuse to compromise our mountain town roots to follow the well-worn path to $1. We choose instead to make game-changing gear and use it in the places and pursuits that inspire us every day. We are Maven, a company focused on the design and creation of innovative products for and by the modern outdoors.
Fremont County's home for the Lander Tigers. KOVE 1330 AM, 107.7 FM.
Good to have you back with us in Torrington, Wyoming for the Porter's Tailgate Show, brought to you by Porter's Mountain View Supply in Riverton, your one-stop shop for grills, spas, stoves, pellets, and more. Porter is a proud supporter of Fremont County athletes. Let's recap the Evanston victory that brought the Tigers to 3-0, first road game of the Lander season. Last Friday night, LVHS with a 50-18 victory over Evanston on the road last Friday. Lander wasting no time setting the tone early. Running back Braden Baker carried the load, breaking off multiple chunk runs on his way to what ended up being 198 rushing yards on 34 carries for Braden Baker. Wow. Last Friday, found the end zone 3 times, consistently wearing down that Red Devil defense. And Mick, we saw in the game last week, as in every game that Braden Baker is able to play in, he's the guy that opponents have to stop first and foremost.
Absolutely, Scott. It's a tough. Hang on a second, Scott. Oh, there it is. Give me a second.
Yeah, see if we can tighten. I'm not sure what we have to do with your brand new headset, by the way. We're not going to shout out the manufacturer, although I want to. Last week, quarterback Paxton Hollingshead, very efficient, 11-16 for 184 and 2 touchdowns. Accuracy on short and intermediate throws kept drives alive, while his connection with Finn McFadden stretched the field for the Tigers. McFadden with 111 receiving yards and 2 scores, including a 29-yard touchdown reception. To kind of balance out the Tigers' offense a little bit. Offensive line, another great game last Friday for the Tigers. Baker making room for Baker, giving Hollingshead time to throw. Lander's scoring drives were sustained. They were kind of a mix of run-heavy possessions, but throwing the ball when they had to. Hit and miss a little bit for the Tiger passing game, but they got connections when they needed it.
They did clutch receptions, Scott. These weren't the little 5 and outs. These were the 10+ yard types of drives and plays that put the Tigers in a dominant position for the whole darn game. I mean, if you think about it, really, Evanston had 1.5 effective drives. That was basically it. I mean, like an interception, to get them most of the way on one drive, and then a very, very solid run drive. And that, I will tell you, in my mind, that drive of Evanston is the Achilles heel, I think, of our defense, is adapting to a run-heavy type of offensive drive like that. I'm worried that our guys might get a little gassed as the game rolls on, but you tell me, what do you think?
That one drive of Evanston that you're referring to, they tried one pass attempt, didn't work, and so they said, well, the heck with it. We're just going to run the ball. And it was a long, sustained drive. I think that was the only time all year when I've thought there are so many guys for the Tigers playing both ways, 4 or 5 guys at least playing offense and defense, that one part of the game might have really gotten to them just fatigue-wise.
And realistically, Scott, most of those runs were around the outside. They were doing very, very little, and it's a kudos to the Lander front line, but if I'm the Torrington coach, I'm looking at that and saying, how do I replicate that? Can I modify it just enough for the size and scope of what I've got on my field to work a couple of drives like that?
Stat-wise, Torrington very similar offensively to the Evanston Red Devils. Key performers for LVHS last week. Just to round out our recap, Braden Baker, 34 carries, 198 yards, 3 touchdowns. Paxton Hollingshead, 11 of 16. His very efficient season continues throwing the ball. 184 and 2 touchdowns. Finn McFadden had 7 catches, 111 yards with 2 touchdowns. Defensively, Cole Espinoza with a great game. Caleb Hamilton, among others, leading the way statistically. And Caleb Andrews, let's not forget, was a perfect 7 of 7 on point after touchdown attempts, kicking the ball as well. So we are now 19 minutes away from kickoff. We're going to tell you a little bit more that you need to know about the Torrington Trailblazers, 2-2 on the season ahead of this matchup. LVHS trying to go 4-0 for the first time since the 2020 season, in which they went 6-0 to start the year. This is the Porter's Tailgate Show, right back from Torrington right after this here on 1330 KOVE and County10.com.
Welcome to Bailey Tire Pros, your local tire and auto repair specialists in Riverton and Lander. Say no to endless online tire listings and experience the convenience of local service. With unbeatable prices and top quality tires, we're here to change the game. Quality service and expert staff ensure you always get the right fit for your car. Choose local. Choose Bailey Tire Pros, where your satisfaction hits the road.
Welcome to Haskell Furniture and Flooring in Riverton. Discover a huge variety of top brands like Ashley, Tempur-Pedic, Serta, Lazy Boy, and more. Our showroom is filled with stylish and comfortable furniture for every room. Come visit us at 2210 North Federal and transform your home today. Explore the exceptional quality and unbeatable prices we offer. Visit HaskellFurnitureandFlooring.com to learn more. Haskell Furniture and Flooring. Best prices, better service.
Watch every Tigers game in high-definition streaming video on the County 10 YouTube page.
Welcome back to Torrington High School, or at least right across the parking lot from Torrington High School on a beyond mild Friday evening. We rolled in Mick Pryor at 85 degrees. It might be a little bit too warm, even more than the temperature, because the sun's going to go down earlier now later in the year. But this north-south wind, or wind from the north, should say, we watched a little bit of warm-ups. A factor. It's strong enough to be a factor in the kicking game and the throwing game.
I think you're right, Scott. And as I look at the flag on the south end of the field, we're still in that, I don't know, what would you call that? This is a Dave question, but probably a 15 to 25 mile an hour wind.
That's what I was going to ballpark, yeah. Maybe gusting to 25.
Yeah. So we're just a couple of minutes from the coin toss, and obviously we want to make sure that if we're playing for the wind, which I suspect Coach Burton has at least thought about it because he was standing down on the field for quite some time. Really, we want to kind of defer our. We probably want to option for field choice direction as opposed to ball choice direction in something like this.
Yeah,
how confident do you think these guys are in taking it to the house first?
I think it does matter quite a bit what kind of offense you want to start the game with. So if you're going to, as Lander probably will, if you want to kind of ground and pound and use Braden Baker initially, I would take the wind in the second quarter and the fourth quarter,
right,
to make it more difficult for the opposing offense, for one thing. The idea then is you get up early, you put them into a passing situation late in the first half and late in the game, and then throwing into that wind and kicking into that wind becomes a little bit more difficult.
For perspective, folks, I mean, we were watching the field goal units warming up, and Torrington was on the north end, into the wind, trying to make 42-yard kicks. And, they were probably about 5 or 6 yards off. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Lander is doing their warm-up in the south side, and roughly the same distance, and with yards to spare. And it's not necessarily trying to gauge talent of kickers or anything like that, but that headwind will make a difference if we come down to the wire and a kick wins the game.
It definitely makes a difference. We actually saw that in the Powell game a couple of weeks ago. I think Lander wins that game anyway, but the fact that Powell had to try to run their offense, combined with good special teams and forcing long fields for the Powell Panthers, but going into the wind ended up being the nail in the coffin for the Panthers in that game. So that's my guess as to if we have an opportunity to choose for into or against the wind. Probably going to go into the wind to begin, but we'll see. Want to mention tonight's broadcast powered by Wyoming.com and Perfect Power Electric. So a little bit more about the Torrington Trailblazers. And we mentioned this is the first time either team has played in a 3A East matchup this year. Both teams coming in with plenty to prove, and the numbers kind of prove this could be a tight one. Lander a little bit better on paper, offensive stat-wise. Mick, I know you have the stats right there in front of you.
Yeah.
And it's over the course of 4 games for Torington and 3 for Lander, and each game and each matchup is different, but the stats so far do favor the Lander Tigers offensively.
Looking at it on paper, Scott, I think you're absolutely right. So right now, and this is statistically significant at this point, with 4 games for Torington and 3 for Lander. Right? We weren't quoting very much in the way of stats early in the season because one game does not make a season, but it can actually determine the direction of a season. But at this point, Torrington is averaging about 130 yards a game, or on 19 attempts, or 6.8 yards rushing-wise. Passing-wise, 108 yards a game, with a completion percentage of about 52%. So rush and pass, Torrington is averaging about 238 yards. 259 yards a game on their offense. Conversely, Lander right now is rushing about 215 yards a game. On 32 attempts, that's a 6.7. So on paper, Torrington just a hair ahead on the rushing side. But this is where it gets interesting. On the passing side, Lander 185 yards. Remember, Torrington 108. 74% completion. That is quite frankly, in any coin flip, you have a favorable odds for Lander, especially if they decide to stick with the air.
I think that's a big credit to Paxton Hollingshead, quarterback last year for the Tigers in what was obviously a run-first offensive system, and it still is. But Pax has been extremely efficient. Leads, I don't have the number right in front of me, I do somewhere, but is in the top 5 in 3A in passing efficiency for this point in the season. And that's really impressive considering, if I had to guess, Scott, is he probably number one in 3A East? In all of 3A, and I'll find the number. No, but as far as where does he sit in 3A East? We're probably in number 1 and number 2 slots. That I would have to look at, but I believe you would be right. I haven't seen everybody in 3A East, and I think I just pulled that one number because it did jump off the screen at me when I was looking things up this morning. Here we go. All right. All of 3A, Paxton Hollingshead leads all of 3A in passing efficiency. Okay. Which is 73% of his passes. 545 yards and 7 touchdowns versus 1 interception. You're going to take that stat line over 3 games for any quarterback. Oh, fully agree. So that's a little bit on paper with the Lander Tigers, how they match up against the Torrington Blazers. Let me give you some more stats there, Scott. Thank you. Lander's suiting up 34. Torrington suiting up 39. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Torrington right now, of their 39 suited, 7 seniors, 10 juniors, 7 sophomores, 15 freshmen.
This is a freshman-heavy team, this is a very, very young team. Probably the better way to say it.
Yep.
And as we look at just kind of numbers and stats, that's really reflected in opponents for Torrington statistically. Here's where it gets kind of interesting. Even though Torrington is 2-2, total offensive production for opponents of Torrington. Now remember, Torrington is averaging about 238 yards of offensive production in a game. Opponents are averaging 271.
Mm-hmm.
And so, statistically, these guys should probably be a 1-3 team, but they're a 2-2 team. So it tells me that Torrington is pulling some wild cards out of the ether and delivering some returns for the Blazers.
When it comes to the Trailblazers, quarterback Drew Kramer has been pretty steady himself, over 400 yards, 4 touchdowns without an interception, but that tells you that Torrington is a run-first team. When they do go to the air, Landre Griman picked up 225 receiving yards on the season, also leads the Blazers in overall scoring with 6 touchdowns. Special teams, Griman's a dangerous returner. He's kind of their Finn McFadden. 70 yards per game in kick returns, including an 85-yard kick return at some point in this season. So keep an eye on Griman, on Torrington returning kicks, and Finn McFadden returning kicks for the Tigers, because if it does end up being a 4-quarter game, at special teams and field position could play a big factor.
Scott, I've been saying it since the Green River game. Momentum. If Lander can control that part, and it is mindset. It is not necessarily who's holding the ball at that moment in time. I think that we've got a very good chance of notching our first 3A East conference win.
That's what we are here for. That's what we took the beautiful scenic drive across the state.
Oh, man. I tell you what. Well, you mean West Nebraska is where we're at.
So we are now about 9 minutes away from kickoff. We have some keys to the game to go over, as well as the starting lineups as we expect them anyway from head coach Jim Burton for the Lander Valley Tigers, and we will get to all that as the Porter's Tailgate Show continues right here on AM 1330 KOVE and county10.com.
Myers Gambles is your one-stop shop for furniture, mattresses, and appliances in Lander, Wyoming. We have an unbeatable selection of furniture for your living room, bedroom, and dining room. Plus, we have the latest trends in home furnishings. Our mattresses are comfortable and affordable, and our appliances are built to last. Whether you're looking for a new TV, sofa, or refrigerator, we have the perfect finish, style, and function for your home. Visit us at 420 Main Street in Lander, or check out our website, landergambles.com. Today.
Elevate Rehab's founding principle on you is evident from your first visit to the last. Our practice model ensures treatment as you deserve, a private one-on-one session with a licensed therapist the entire visit, every visit. All therapists hold advanced credentialing, including 2 certified hand therapists, an orthopedic clinical specialist, an MDT therapist, as well as pelvic floor and pregnancy rehab offerings. With over 100 years of combined experience between our 7 clinicians, Elevate is your ticket to health. Find us in Lander or DuBois and visit our website or Facebook page. Choose Elevate Rehab to elevate your outcomes.
Lander Tiger football is on the air. Here is Scott Fuller.
Scott Fuller and Mick Pryor in Torrington, Wyoming, ahead of a homecoming matchup for the Torrington Trailblazers hosting the Lander Valley Tigers. Torrington just about to take the field with their run out onto the track. I hear a motorcycle mix somewhere that may be entering the
It's homecoming again, Scott, so hopefully we are another spoiler team for another homecoming. Core memories.
We're last week in Evanston. I'll give it up for the Red Devils, though. They had a nice performance by their band at halftime. Had a fireworks display after the game
it was
last Friday.
Magical. Absolutely magical.
So far, it is Torrington onto the field with an American flag, with a run-out, and in front of a sparse but hearty Torrington home crowd sitting directly in front of us as you watch the video stream at county10.com. Do have live streaming video of every Lander Tiger game all season long. Thanks to Perfect Power and Wyoming.com for sponsoring the live stream. Let's get some keys to the game tonight. I would say these are just mine, Mick, but balance for Lander. offensive balance. Can Paxton Hollingshead keep the passing attack sharp when they need it to be? And then how much can you ride Braden Baker? That stat line, 34 carries for 198 yards. That's a beast of a stat line. I also don't want him with 34 carries every game all season.
Oh, gosh, no. Scott, in my mind, the key to the game is going to be defense for Lander. We saw a couple of injuries in the third quarter that kind of adjusted the tempo for the Tigers. And I think that ultimately one of the things that Evanston was really good at last week was grinding down, just keeping these guys gassed a little bit more than a normal rate of play would probably situate you. So I'm going to say that if they can control the tempo on the defensive end, I think that's going to be my key to the game.
On the flip side, if your job is to keep Torrington in this game, we've gone through some of the key players for the Blazers. We've gone through the season stats so far. For me, for Torrington, it is field position and turnovers. We'll see how it plays out in about 5 minutes. Right now, the national anthem, which we'll bring to you right now. Hopefully you could hear some of the national anthem as performed by the Torrington High School Band. And we're about 4 minutes away. I'm not sure if we've done the coin toss or not. Sorry, we have a... See that display button there, Mick? Let me try that. Oh, that didn't work. See if we can follow instructions on the video screen. Nothing that's affecting those of you watching that you can see, just something that we need to fix on our end before we start the game. Starting lineups being introduced by the public address announcer. We'll get you what we expect to be starters for the Lander Valley Tigers. Paxton Hollingshead at quarterback. Behind him, for most of the game, we expect the tandem of number 30 Cody West and number 34 Braden Baker, coming off a 198-yard, 34-carry performance in Evanston last week. Wideouts, Caleb Andrews, Darian Herford, Finn McFadden, and Parker Burton. Barrett Moffitt should see most of the work at tight end. Tigers offensive line from left to right, Taj Prime, Gus Childers on the left side, Corbin Fiddler at center on our depth chart, Caleb Hamilton, and Gavin Romer, one of the better right sides of an offensive line you'll see in 3A at guard and tackle, respectively. Defensively, Lander runs with that 3-4. Gavin Romer, Hayden St. Clair, and Caleb Hamilton up front. Linebackers are Darian Herford, Gus Childers, Cole Espinoza, and Parker Burton. Caleb Andrews, Finn McFadden, the corners. And the safety is Barrett Moffitt. Those are the starters as we expect to see them. And how about this? The unbeaten Tigers, 3-0 on the season, going up against the 2-2 Torrington Trailblazers.
So far, so good.
That's exactly right. Let's hope it's 4-0 after the end of this game. We're 2.5 away from kickoff. One more break, and we'll come back to wrap up the Porter's Tailgate Show after this on 1330 KOVE and County10.com.
Baldwin Creek Rental Service in Lander is a proud supporter of sports and athletics here in Fremont County. Baldwin Creek Rental Center understands how expensive specific equipment can be, especially if it's for a one-time use or event. That's why they offer tools and equipment rentals. For many years, Baldwin Creek has provided services to clients in Lander and the surrounding areas. From lawn and garden projects to graduation parties, they have the right equipment for you. Baldwin Creek Rental Center, located at 675 Baldwin Creek Road in Lander.
Hey, Fremont County, listen up! This is your game changer. Health Source of Riverton with Dr. Jonathan Fabian, the only certified chiropractic sports physician in the area. For a limited time, student athletes get a $10 new patient special. That includes a full initial evaluation, needed x-rays, and a doctor-prescribed pain relief session. Just mention this ad when you call. Stay in the game with expert care from Health Source of Riverton. Call 463-2770 and tell them you heard about the $10 student athlete special.
Let's just do it, okay?
This County 10 sports presentation of Lander Tigers football is brought to you in part by Fremont Chevy Buick GMC, Bailey Tire Pros, Porter's Mountain View Supply, Gambles in Lander, the Wyoming Department of Transportation, and Wyoming Catholic College.
Lander Tiger football is on the air.
1, 2, 3.
To bring you the action, let's head to the stadium. Here is Scott Fuller.
Once again, welcome to Torington. Very pleasant Friday evening for football, maybe even a little bit on the warmer side as we kick off, I guess, 82.5 degrees.
It's the banana belt down here, Scott.
It is. It's nice and toasty. We decided a 10 to 20 mile an hour wind from the north will affect play if that keeps up. And Lander will take the field with their offense first, following a kickoff to Finn McFadden back deep to return for the Tigers.
So Tigers will be defending the south field goal, which puts us in a little bit of a pickle, Scott, as far as your second quarter, fourth quarter thesis. But
we are going into the wind. We will have the wind with the second and fourth quarter. That's what I would have picked. Right. You never know how the game plays out. Torrington, their kicker, number 2, Holden Hackett, has it teed up, and we are underway with the Blazers at 2-2 and the Lander Tigers at 3-0. Beautiful kick. We'll check up at the 1 yard line. Finn has to deal with it to the 10, up the far sideline to the 15. Making a couple people miss. Nice return considering, up to about the 18-yard line.
Yeah, making some hay with that one. Started, that was a coffin kick right to about the 2 or 1 yard line there in the southeast corner.
McFadden wanted to let that go, and it just stopped on this natural turf field, Mick Pryor. I know you love that.
Oh, man. Torrington didn't get conned, in my opinion, on the AstroTurf stuff like the rest of Wyoming did.
They are very popular around the state. First drive, first play of the game for the Lander Tigers. It will be quarterback Paxton Hollingshead under center. Looks like a wishbone behind him. Braden Baker's the deep back. It is a give to Baker. Chooses that 2-hole on the left side. Bowling over a defender. Finds his way to the 30. Braden Baker to the 40. Watch out. Baker on the first play from scrimmage to the 10, the 5. Tripped up down to the 1 yard line. That is a 89-yard scamper all the way down to the 1. First play from scrimmage. Tigers striking on the ground.
The only guy who could catch him did. That was number 7, Brady Dagan, the senior wide receiver, probably the only guy with legs who could catch up to Baker with a couple of broken tackles and then a whole lot of field in front of him.
There was nothing to that schematically. That was all offensive line there on the left side, and Braden Baker doing the rest. First and goal, they actually spot the ball at about the 2 yard line, so first and goal for the Tigers. Straight line backs behind Hollingshead, who's under center. Pax gives to Braden Baker to the 2 yard line to the 1, and he is in for a Lander Tiger touchdown. 2 plays, 6 points for the Tigers.
Can't get any better than that, Scott, but boy, you're at this point on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard, 11-16, so 44 seconds, and Lander is on the board with 6.
First of what we hope will be many point-after-touchdown attempts. Good snap, good hold, kick is up and good. Only took 2 plays, 2 Braden Baker carries all the way down the field for a 92-yard touchdown run to open the game, or a drive rather, to open the game. 90 yards, the scamper, I think 89 officially for Braden Baker.
Boy, I'll tell you, Scott, as I look, the stands are about half full at this moment, and I'll tell you, the enthusiasm went from, call it a dull roar of excitement of opening kickoff to, I'm not going to call it morose yet, but I would say stunned. Yeah. I mean, like deadpan stunned.
Exactly. Well, just about the perfect script for the Lander Tigers, obviously. offensively, and now Torrington's going to have some pressure to answer and at least get a couple of first downs, if not try to find points on this drive of theirs themselves.
But an 80-yard run, Scott, to start, that's a heck of a statement to get the ball rolling for Lander.
2 back deep to receive this kickoff for the Tigers. It is Sandusky and Londre Griman, number 10. He's on the bottom of your screen, or will be. He's the one you don't want to kick it to. Which I'm sure has been talked about amongst the special teams crew a lot this week, so we'll see where this kick goes. It is going to be at Griman, and he's going to take it, but straddled the goal line, so a touchback. So I guess, Mick, that's the strategy, is kick it out of the back of the end zone.
Well, yeah. Scott, that one probably landed right at the goal line. Just a kind of a misstep on special teams to put 1 foot over and put you into that touchback.
Could have maybe grabbed it, yeah.
I don't know. I didn't see a fair catch signal on that. That was premature.
But in high school, it's if you're in the end zone, it's a touchback.
Got it.
So we'll see how the Blazers can answer. Quarterback from the shotgun is Drew Kramer. Keep an eye out for number 10, Londre Griman, as we mentioned. Griman is attached left. This will be a play-action RPO, rolling out to the right, upended right at the 20-yard line by, not Cody West.
That's Parker Burton.
Parker Burton in there. For a gain of officially 1, 2nd and 9 coming up.
Solid coverage by the Tigers in the secondary. So their free safety is setting up about 20 yards behind or ahead of the line of scrimmage and picking up quite a bit of the double man coverage. He gave him a brief pause there.
Kramer again from the shotgun with a single back to his left. He's looking to throw right away. This time we'll tuck it. Braden Baker there on the stop, as well as a couple of other Lander Tigers.
That was a solid Gavin Romer stop. More of a pinch play than anything else. That quarterback got not just creamed from the front, but from the back. And if I were Torrington at this point, I'm probably reconsidering my opening drive playbook.
Doesn't look like much, but that, trust me, that hurts. That hurts a lot more than it looks like. So after 2 plays, Lander had scored. After 2 plays, Torrington has 3 yards. Be 3rd and 7. From the shotgun is Kramer again. This time looking to throw left. Forced out of the pocket. Nice job to recoup things and throw deep down the far sideline. It is caught. That is Londre Griman all the way down to the 32-yard line for a huge play from the Blazers' perspective on 3rd down.
I'll tell you, Scott, that was Griman was set up and basically had done a button hook and was waiting for a solid 2-3 seconds with no Tiger around him. So a little bit of a misstep there on Tiger coverage.
Kramer again from the shotgun, throwing toward Griman. That is intercepted. Ball picked off and back the other way. This will be a Lander Tiger touchdown with the interception coming from Finn McFadden. A little bit overthrown. McFadden with a 68-yard Lander Tiger pick 6. So just when Torrington has some momentum, Lander makes him pay with a trip to the house.
I'm telling you what, boys and girls, that's the word of the day. Momentum, momentum, momentum. And quite frankly, it seems to come in weird shots for Lander.
That was Kramer, the quarterback for Torrington, with a good look. It wasn't going to be a touchdown, but Londre Griman was in the flat, and he just overthrew his receiver, and Finn McFadden was in the perfect spot to be able to take that one all the way. All Tigers. The PAT that is up and good. 14-0 Lander from Torrington. The Blazers are shell-shocked. We'll come back after this here on 1330 KOVE and County10.com.
The Tyler Watson State Farm Agency is a proud supporter of Riverton High School Wolverine athletics. We understand the importance of community, and we're excited to be a part of it. As your neighbor, we're here to help you with all your insurance needs. We offer auto, homeowners, renters, business, and life insurance. So stop in and say hi, or give us a call today. The Tyler Watson State Farm Agency will be here for you.
I'm Winslow Friday, Director of the Wind River Intertribal Council Department of Transportation. It makes me and my crew happy when you buckle up. It just might save your life.
I'm gonna get us home. Buckle up for life, Wyoming!
Welcome back to Torrington, where the Lander Tigers are on top by a couple of touchdowns. Lander has run 2 offensive plays in the first quarter, and they have scored 2 touchdowns. One on a Braden Baker couple of carries on the opening drive, and then Finn McFadden with a pick 6 from 68 yards out. That Tiger kick is going to be picked up by Griman, that dangerous returner for the Blazers. He's finding a seam up the sideline to the 31, and that's where the Blazers will start. A little bit better field position for Torrington.
Lower line drive there, Scott, as far as that opening kick, or rather second kick of the game. On the Fremont Chevy scoreboard, 9:29. So, gosh, a lot has happened in really less than 3 minutes.
2.5 minutes, yeah, exactly. But that's what Lander's looking for. Torrington in danger of getting blown out after the first couple of minutes of this game. So they'll get back on the horse for their second offensive drive. Drew Kramer from the shotgun. Torrington quarterback with a pitch. Option action out to the left. Up to the 35, and leaning toward the 40-yard line is Brendan Woodward, running back for Torrington. Nice solid 8-yard gain.
I'll tell you, Scott, so Paxton Hollingshead, the quarterback, actually the free safety, or actually in that position, strong safety. Lander had waited to the right side there and was in great position to prevent that from turning into a real disaster as far as pitch.
Yes, simple option, and that can get out of hand if you don't contain the edge in a hurry. As it was a gain of 8. Kramer with a design quarterback run off left tackle. First down for Torrington, and then some to the 50, 45, 30-yard line. And down to the 20 goes Torrington's quarterback. Kramer's going to fall into the end zone for a Torrington Trailblazer touchdown. Well, that's exactly the answer they were looking for here on homecoming.
I get the feeling, Scott, this is not going to be a grinded-away type of game. This is going to be a back-and-forth type of battle of wits and big plays.
If you love points, keep it right here. Had 3 touchdowns in, 3 minutes and 6 seconds of game time?
It's rolling fast, so let's see who gets gassed first. Now we get into conditioning.
A touchdown a minute. I'm not sure I've seen that. Definitely not in the Lander game recently. PAT to try to cut it to 7. The snap's a little bit low. It will be a line drive kick that somehow is punched through. Nice job by the holder for the Blazers to get that in any kind of kickable position. All right, one more break. We'll come back. Lander Tiger football set to receive a kickoff, leading Torrington by 7 after this on 1330 KOVE and County10.com.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing to keep us focused.
A habit we never skip, to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game? To drown out the self-doubt and support your mental health. Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mental health. Discover the resources that you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
I'm Winslow Friday, Director of the Wind River Intertribal Council Department of Transportation. It makes me and my crew happy when you buckle up. It just might save your life.
I'm gonna get us home.
Buckle up for life, Wyoming!
Torrington Trailblazers with an answer to Lander's couple of real quick touchdowns. It's a long touchdown run from Torrington's Drew Kramer. Design quarterback sweep all the way out of the backfield. Torrington to kick away from Finn McFadden. It will be fielded by Parker Burton and then run out of bounds.
That's a good heads-up play on Parker. It ultimately had about 4 Blazers descending down on him very quickly.
And no blockers.
And sincerely, really good field position to do. So they'll mark it at the 20, 1st and 10 now with 8:53 left here in the first quarter.
So Lander has run 2 offensive plays, both on the opening drive of the game. This is only their second drive of the game. Braden Baker with, I think we decided, a 90-yard run. 80-yard run, yes, to the 1-yard line. And then a 2-yard, I think officially touchdown run. That's been Lander's offense, but they have 14 points thanks to a pick 6 from Finn McFadden. Paxton Hollingshead from the shotgun has Braden Baker to his right. Motion in front of him is Parker Burton. It's a flip to Burton, who is enveloped in the backfield for a solid loss of about 5. second down coming up.
Oh, Burton, being kind of the shortest man on the field at the moment, ultimately slowed down to kind of absorb that hit. So I think it was probably, if the read on the field is accurate to reality, that was probably an unavoidable hit.
Don't hate the play call with the idea being all eyes are on Baker in the backfield, but it was read nicely by Torrington's defense. Their assignments stayed home, so 2nd and 15 coming up with Hollingshead. Baker to his right. Packs with a high snap, flips it to Braden Baker before he landed. And Baker's back to the original line of scrimmage, maybe a yard shy. So a 3rd down and 11 will be upcoming for Lander.
Solid conversion there on a high snap to a relatively high flip. But Baker, I just didn't quite get enough momentum going out of the corner to really make much more than that line of scrimmage gain. So at this point, 3rd and 10, now back at the 20 with 7:48 on the clock.
Have an official stoppage, side judge running in to look at the spot of the ball, I believe. I think
trying to line up with the chains, it looks like.
I think they gave us a free yard is what it looked like to me. I think it's more 3rd and 11 than 3rd and 10, but they did not move the ball. So we will take 3rd and 10 for the Lander Tigers. Torrington homecoming crowd trying to get a little bit into the game. Hollingshead from the shotgun, right back to where Lander started the drive from the 20-yard line. Braden Baker's to his left, 2 receivers to the left side. Instead, Hollingshead is looking to his right. Has a receiver there, but well short of the line to gain after a pitch of about 4 yards out there in the right flat to Caleb Andrews. It'll be 4th down.
Kind of an interesting play there, Scott. They stacked 4 on the left side, and not even a look in that direction. It was certainly a planned play with no real alternatives, and boy, that option was not the best.
Could be a tendency breaker. The Tigers will look at their own film and say, what do we do too much of, and try to do the opposite. Sometimes it works. Instead, Lander's going to have to punt on 4th and 5. Actually, a good 5-yard gain on that completion to Andrews. Boot is a low-line drive, bouncing at the 50. Rolling to the 40, it is going to be Greiman with a chance to return it, but doesn't get much. Good punt cover for the Tigers as Greiman squirts out to the 44-yard line, maybe, more like 43.
Looks like they're going to spot it at the 44. So first and 10 at the 44. Ooh, wait a minute. Yep, nope, we're going to go with the 44. So 6:55 on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard.
As crazy as this first quarter has been, Torrington puts together a drive here, and it's a brand new game halfway through the first quarter.
It's reset. Yeah, we're back to an equalizer.
Blazers obviously looking to do just that. Tigers trying to make more points or momentum happen with their defense. Kramer is from the shotgun for the Blazers. They have a tight bunch formation. Look at these 4 eligibles now. A receiver coming in motion from the far side. Greiman is the fake. Instead, Kramer is going to keep it himself, juking his way for a couple of yards. After all the bells and whistles, all the motion, it was the quarterback Kramer keeping it, trying to replicate that great run he had in the first drive of the game, but was only able to get about 3.
Well, the Lander defensive line was not fooled that time, and quite frankly, I don't think there was anybody in the secondary who got a tackle on that one. That was all offensive line, knocking that down from behind.
3 for the Tigers. Amazing what they've done for a couple of seasons now. The heart and soul of this team in a lot of ways.
Absolutely outsized their Torrington opponents.
Kramer with a back to either side from the shotgun. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. This will be a draw and a give to Woodford. He is met by that front 3 of the 3-4 for Lander for no gain, maybe 1. Will be 3rd down and 6 coming up.
And we'll give Romer the, actually, that's a Caleb Hamilton tackle.
Between Hamilton and Romer up front, offensive and defensive. Espinoza in there as well. That's what's made Lander successful when they have been the last 2 years.
I'll tell you, Scott, as you look at this Torrington team, there are a handful of 6-footers, but as I look at that front line, the Lander defensive line has 2 inches on them.
Kramer for Torrington on 3rd down and 6 from the shotgun. He's looking left, and that ball is batted down, incomplete, and that's going to force a 4th down decision as we see the swat on the right side of the defensive line on the Gamble's replay.
That was a Gavin Romer swat, and again, this is where that height comes into play for Lander. So at 4 and 6, here we go again. 2 backs back, at the 20-yard line for Lander. 5:30 left on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard.
Be Finn McFadden, one of them, and Parker Burton on the top of your screen as that ball will be kicked. High snap, slow snap, nice high kick, end over end. Finn's going to call for a fair catch and make that one at about the 10-yard line. Keep it right here for the change of possession, as not sure what we were expecting in this matchup, Mick, but wasn't the first half of the first quarter.
No, the bold moves from both teams early in the game, and quite frankly, I think that's really what both teams probably looked at the same stuff we just broke down in the Porter's pregame show, as far as just on paper, relatively equal, relatively.
I think you're
and
right.
So the trick is you need to smash a real barn burner play into the mix.
Hollingshead with a wishbone behind him under center. Gets the snap. The give is to Cody West. West with a nice hole on the left side. He'll scamper ahead for a good gain of about 4. Second down.
I'd say if he could have snatched a one more block out of that, Scott, he probably would have been able to get around. That was a solid run.
Exactly the play from the same formation that Braden Baker was able to strike from in the first quarter, earlier in this first quarter.
Fool me once.
Yeah, that was much better read by Torrington. I'm sure they got that message when they went to the sideline after that particular drive. Second down and 6 coming up for the Tigers. Again, same formation. Wishbone is behind Hollingshead, under center. Pax will turn and give it to Braden Baker. Nicely tackled in the backfield. A high-low tackle will result in a loss of about a yard is all. That could have been a lot worse for the Tigers. 3rd and 7 coming up.
4:30 now on here in the first quarter. Lander leading Torrington 14-7. So it'll be a 3rd and 6 on the 16. Pardon me, 3rd and 7 on the 15.
So you do have to give some credit to Torrington's defense. Since that first couple of plays, they've regrouped and now we're making things a little bit more difficult for the Lander Tigers. Same formation again on 3rd down. Wishbone behind Paxton Hollingshead, who is under center. So it'll be a play action and a rollout from Pax. Flips it ahead.
Oh.
And that's incomplete. That pass was intended for... We're further down on my roster for that one. That pass was intended for... That can't be right. Lackling Gebhardt is what I have, the sophomore tight end.
It's a decent shovel pass, but quite frankly, a little too much coverage to be that cavalier with the ball.
Yeah, I like the play action. It was a good play action with Pax rolling out, but was read nicely by Torrington. So the lone returner is Greiman, who is standing right at midfield. Be a great time for a big punt from Braden Baker here.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it's over Baker's head into the end zone. That's going to be a safety. It's going to be a safety out the back of the end zone. Baker took a shot at the end of the play.
Drat.
That is a safety. So,
bad snaps result in 3 points.
2 points.
2 points, pardon me.
Well, that's not what Lander was looking for, and we have a score befitting this game. 14-9 is now the score. As we'll come back with 3:36 to go in the first quarter after this on 1330 KOVE and County10.com.
For a trusted partner in your financial journey, at Redden, Kane & Associates, we're more than just CPAs. We're a world-class accounting firm dedicated to providing exceptional service to our clients. From tax management and accounting to estate planning and retirement strategies, our experts provide personalized solutions that help you thrive. Our lasting relationships are based on trust and open communication. Let's make your goals become reality. Take the first step towards financial confidence. Visit rivertoncpa.com.
Porter's Mountain View Supply, your local experts in fire and water. We got everything you need for new installs to accessories, and don't forget our great selection of stoves, grills, and spas. We've been serving Wyoming for over 40 years, so you know you can trust us for quality products and expert service. Visit portersmbs.com or stop by our Riverton or Casper locations today. Porter's Mountain View Supply, located on 750 East Sunset Drive in Riverton.
Lander Tigers still on top, but after the safety following the high snap to Braden Baker on the punts, 14-9. Torrington will now get the ball back as Griman crosses the 35 on the return on the free kick to the 43, maybe 44-yard line.
I tell you, Scott, 2 points, but it feels like 3. It feels, like those are the types of things that, minor inconvenience if you're just looking at it from a scoreboard standpoint, but real estate being taken in the minds of Lander.
And Torrington gets the ball back, obviously, after the safety, which is maybe the bigger issue. This is a penalty on the free kick. It's going to be against Torrington for a block in the back. So they'll mark it back to the 34-yard line for Torrington's next drive.
And I think this is an opportunity now for Lander to kind of, for this defense, who just came off, not a minute ago as far as the clock is concerned, to really show maybe this is the opportunity the defense needs to really kind of change the mindset going on in Lander. Interesting play going on.
Yeah, Blazers with Kramer from the shotgun now shift everybody to block out for a quarterback sweep on the left side that is read just beautifully for a loss of 2 or 3 by Cody West.
Lander did not fall for that interesting quick play by Torrington, wherein you had ultimately three folks in motion.
Had 3 attached right, and at the very last minute they shifted them all to the left, which, by the way, you can do, but you need to have everybody set for a full second. Otherwise, you'll have an illegal motion penalty, and that was close. I'm sure everybody got reset.
That takes some practice.
Yes, 2nd and 12. This will be Drew Kramer under center now, and a timeout that will be taken by the Blazers. Back after this on 1330 KOVE and County10.com.
Life happens, and sometimes it leaves a dent. At Northside Body Shop in Lander, we meet by accident, but we fix your vehicle with purpose. From minor dings to major collision repair, our expert team gets you back on the road and brings your car back to its original beauty. Trust the specialists who treat every vehicle like a classic. Northside Body Shop. Come see us at 323 North 2nd Street in Lander.
Welcome to Hampton Inn & Suites, your home away from home in Riverton. Enjoy top-notch amenities like our indoor pool, hot tub, and fitness center. Start your day with our complimentary breakfast. Stay connected with free Wi-Fi. Relax in one of our 89 beautifully furnished rooms. The Hampton Inn & Suites is proud to support the Riverton Athletics Program and being a part of the Riverton High School Booster Club. We want to wish all student athletes the best this coming season and look forward to being a part of your success.
Out of a Torrington Trailblazers timeout, it will be 2nd and 12. Blazers will be under center with Kramer. They have 2 wide receivers, wide side to the right, 1 short side left. Play fake to that right side. Kramer flipping it out to an open receiver in the flat. Makes 1 Tiger miss. Brought down just about the original line of scrimmage. After all that, that'll be a 4-yard gain and 3rd down and 8 coming up.
So, Scott, while we were in that timeout, you noticed, and I guess the real trick there is, what did we think that Torrington was discussing on that timeout call? They brought the whole team out to that huddle.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this, but I think you'll find that's what they do for every timeout. I think whenever they take a timeout, they say, everybody, this pertains to all of you. I don't care if you're a freshman, I don't care who you are, you could go into the game at any moment, so everyone's going to come and participate in this timeout, which I liked. Kramer from the shotgun. On 3rd down and 8, he's looking left, now forced to hitch it, and Kramer's going to be enveloped for a sack in the backfield. Tigers all the way through for a good lot. It's a big sack, too. That's a loss of about 9.
So that was under pressure by Caleb Hamilton. Ultimately misses his tackle, but keeps that quarterback off his, almost on his back heel there, which gave Romer the opportunity to make the sack. So great double team there from the Lander front line.
Great pass rush, and also downfield, Kramer wasn't able to go where he wanted with the ball, which allowed that second wave of defenders through for the pass rush with Hamilton. And now the clock is stopped again for a Lander Tiger timeout. We'll take it with him back after this on 1330 KOVE and County10.com.
Overhead door, we're your total window and door store. We
have garage doors, front doors, storm doors, screen doors, glass doors, sliding doors, shower doors, French doors, wood doors, metal doors for your business or home. And the finest brands of windows and service you come to know. We have the right door for your loading dock. We sell the best hardware, handles, and locks. Overhead door, we're your total window and door store. Overhead door.
One timeout apiece, and following Lander's timeout, the Tigers will receive a punt. It's Parker Burton on a short return out to the 40-yard line, where the Tigers will start with 1:08 to go in the first quarter on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard.
What do you think, Scott? In this 1 minute left here in the first quarter, do you do a program of several prepackaged plays, or do you? What do you think you do?
I think what they haven't done yet is open Finn up over the middle. If you wanted to try that, I think it'd be there. Otherwise, just keep hammering. It's keep doing what you're doing with Cody West and Braden Baker. But if you were going to do a play action and send Finn from one of the slots straight down the field, now might not be a bad time to do that. Finn McFadden is slot left, by the way. Hollingshead from the shotgun. Baker to his left. Instead, it's a give to Braden Baker. Baker with a move up the middle and is brought down after a gain of 1.
We are now a minute left here on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard here in the first quarter. Lander leading at 14-9, and we'll have a second down and 9 on the 41-yard line of Lander.
What a first quarter this has been.
A game all in itself.
Something for everyone. Lander scoring immediately 2 touchdowns. You had a safety against the Tigers as Torrington has little momentum back maybe.
Missteps from special teams.
And Hollingshead now in the shotgun on second down and 9. This will be a gift to Braden Baker again on the draw. He crosses the 45, and that's about it to the 46. 3rd and 4 upcoming. With 21 seconds left in the quarter, we'll see if Lander wants to snap it here.
It doesn't look like it, Scott. I think it looks like we're going to cross the threshold into the second quarter, but my, oh my, what a first quarter it is. 14-9 on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard. Your Lander Tigers are leading it. If you've just joining us, you've missed quite a bit.
It's my favorite throw to break ever. If you're just joining us, you've missed a lot. And we'll get the second quarter going right after this on 1330 KOVE and County10.com.
Wyoming Catholic College is a unique institution that offers an immersion in the Western tradition, the beauty and challenges of the wilderness, and the treasures of the Catholic spiritual heritage. Our mission is to provide a unique educational experience that nurtures the body, mind, and spirit. We are proud of our alumni success stories and the learning opportunities we offer through our academic outreach program. Come and explore our campus in Lander, Wyoming.
Men have a way of doing things. A man has his way of eating, of exercising, of keeping his hands warm, and of straightening up. So, when a man faces a serious life problem like divorce, depression, or suicidal thoughts, shouldn't a man have a way to deal with that too? Well, now he does. I'm Dr. Rich Mahogany. Visit me at mantherapy.org.
Start of quarter number 2, the Lander Tigers facing a 3rd and 4 from the play action. From the shotgun. Braden Baker's going to get the carry and enough for the first down over the 50-yard line to the 45 of the Blazers. Both teams have taken a timeout in that wild first quarter, so each have 2 remaining. That was kind of a big first down, Mick, for the Tigers. Get that first down, and now you're on the right side of the field.
Like we were talking about it, Scott, at the during the break, the Tigers have had success, but not repeatable success. on some of these plays.
Hollingshead from the shotgun, 2 receivers wide side left. Instead, a give to Baker across the 40. Braden Baker, 35-30. He's got a lane, 20. Makes a cutback at the 15 into the last defender for the Blazers, but well inside the 15-yard line on a big run from Braden Baker.
I stand corrected, Scott. That was the same play
That was
as the
repeatable.
opener.
Yeah, that was.
Never mind. But
Braden makes things repeatable. He has a tendency to do that. And the offensive line, of course.
But I'll tell you, Scott, I think what we're seeing there from Coach Burton is just a little bit of early probing of what works and what doesn't in that first quarter. So I think we're probably going to see a little bit more of that type of run game going forward.
Good point. And scoring 2 touchdowns immediately kind of gives you the luxury to do that. And now Lander knocking on the door again. Hollingshead from the shotgun with Baker to his right. This will be a give to Braden off left tackle to the 10. Puts his foot in the ground to the 5. Braden Baker is in for a Lander Tiger touchdown, I believe. I haven't seen a signal yet. I thought he got in, and the worst imaginable news is Braden Baker is down on the side of the end zone. And there's a flag. That's why we didn't see a touchdown. Indication there's a flag in the backfield, so this may be this might be literal insult to injury as they call that against Torrington? Or was that holding? Missed the indication. And Braden Baker, who's a tough kid, went right down after that play, and they're looking at his lower body, kind of looks like. Let's step aside and come back right after this on 1330 KOVE and County10.com.
Looking to transform your home with that perfect mountain-inspired touch? At Altitude Interiors, we're your neighbors here in Lander, bringing decades of family expertise to every project. From stunning hardwood floors to stylish window coverings and custom cabinetry, we'll help you create the space you've been dreaming of. Experience the altitude difference at altitudeinteriors.net.
At Gales Carpet One Floor and Home, we believe every floor tells a story. As a family-owned business with deep roots in Fremont County, we don't just sell flooring. We create personalized solutions for your home. From cozy carpets to stunning hardwood, our expert team guides you through every step. Scan the QR code to learn more. Transform your space with confidence. At Gales Carpet One Floor and Home, we're here to wow you.
Welcome back to Torrington. 10:46 to go in the second quarter on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard, and witnessing what we hope is not a season-defining moment for the Tigers as their star running back, Braden Baker, is still on the turf around the side of the end zone. And both teams have retreated to their respective sidelines, but Braden is being looked at. I don't speculate on injuries, Mick, but
no.
Let me just say this. As a running back, the area they seem to be looking at is not good.
No, but like below the waist, thankfully.
Yeah. So, with the injuries still being dealt with, we're going to step aside and come back as we resume play. By the way, the penalty was against the Tigers on what was, I think, would have been a Braden Baker touchdown run. But their workhorse is on the ground, now being helped to his feet by the training staff, and he'll make his way to the sideline. Obviously hope for a positive prognosis from Braden Baker. Workhorse back for the Lander Tigers, 34 carries in the win against Evanston last week. Worth every one of them from the Tigers' perspective on the scoreboard as he ran for 198 yards. Braden Baker's making his way to the sideline. Well, Mick, as they say, next man up. You have Cody West back there. You'll have to get a little bit deeper into the running back pool, but the game must go on.
I think you're absolutely right, Scott, and it looks like as we start this, it will be Cody West in that I formation, just off of Hollingshead's right hip.
Hollingshead from the gun. That's a high snap. Play action, now a throw into the end zone. That is caught for a Lander Tiger touchdown by Caleb Andrews. And connecting from 23 yards.
Solid, Scott. As far as I think it demonstrates that Lander has quite a few tools in the tool chest to keep this momentum drive going. And, boy, they just used another one.
Yeah, exactly what you're looking for just from a momentum standpoint. And the PAT pending with 10:40 to go on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard. Now 20-9, Lander Tigers. Good snap. Andrews booting through a successful PAT.
I think, Scott, that was ultimately, I think Coach Burton, that was a goal-to-go type of play. And I think, quite frankly, in that type of situation, dealing with what's going on the sideline, I think you have to keep your players' heads in the game, and the only way to do that is to put points on the board almost immediately, which is what Lander is getting really good at, by the way.
Yeah, and Braden Baker, a well-liked teammate, not to mention an incredibly talented multi-sport athlete, but it's almost more important from that bench perspective, morale-wise. You want, as you say, Mick, you want to prevent guys doing the natural thing, and that's worrying about their teammate and their friend, but you've got a game to play, and we're not close to halfway through it.
Well, and I would tell you, Scott, as I look across the field, I'm not obviously we're not going to diagnose any types of injuries, but he's upright, seated, and I don't see any ice on anything, so far so good. I'll call that a tepid okay.
So I think for the coaching staff, you have to plan he's gone for the game.
Yeah, I think
game plan against
and why
that,
would you?
And see, injuries are going to happen in football. So what can you dial up that doesn't involve your star running back that still wins this game that the Tigers need in the 3A East? Kick is away, following the Lander Tiger touchdown and into the end zone for a touchback. Still where you want to be on the scoreboard, 21-9. 14 of those points came in 2 Lander offensive plays, really only 1 on the first drive, and then Finn McFadden.
We're not even calling these drives at this point, Scott. Yeah. It is basically just plays. It is single package plays that are putting points on the board for Lander at this moment.
And Torington as well. Their quarterback, Drew Kramer, has busted through for a couple of big runs. I know that Londre Griman, number 10, is coming. You got to watch him through the air. So a lot of football left to play as Kramer breaks the huddle for the Blazers. He will be from the shotgun. Single back to his right. Sends Griman in motion. Kind of a jet sweep, but instead it's a counter up the middle that is met immediately by the Lander front 3 for maybe a gain of 1.
A well-designed play, Scott. It's just the Lander front line was watching it a little bit closer than I was, and quite frankly, I was watching it pretty close. My eyes swept left as that play kind of progressed. It was so good fake attempt on Torrington's part, but not enough.
Kramer from the gun has backs to either side. 2 receivers short side left, 1 wide side to the right. So shotgun snap and a low throw. He will be down there after a completion. Good gain of about 4. Brings up 3rd and manageable for the Blazers.
We've just crossed the 10-minute line here in the second quarter. 3rd and 8 now. Actually, let's call it 3rd and 4.
Also officially past sunset, as you pointed out.
Yep. So at this point, we are into Friday Night Light territory here in Torington.
3rd and a long 3 for the Blazers. Be operating from the right hash. Single back to Kramer's right. A couple of receivers bunched very wide side left. And this will be a direct snap and a design quarterback run from Kramer. Kramer is stopped after a gain of maybe 1. So a 4th down decision coming up for the Blazers.
We'll call it 4th and 1 on the on the Torrington 27-yard line.
That's a tough call because if you miss this, you kind of need it down 21-9. You want to go for it, and you can probably get it. But if you don't get it, you're giving the Tigers the ball in great field position.
Yeah, I don't think you don't want to blow this game too wide open, Scott. So looks like we're going for the kick.
At least they're going to show that. I don't hate a fake here, but Finn McFadden is back ready for a punt. It's a high arcing snap, but the punt is away. That's a very short kick. End over end. Will back check at the 45. Roll down, actually, decent roll. Thought that was going to roll in Lander's direction, but it does get down to the 36-yard line for the Tigers' next offensive drive.
Let's see how this goes, Scott, but quite frankly, I think great stop by the Lander defense on 3 down in 3 quick runs. And quite frankly, I think if Lander can start to convert into a drive type of format for a second, might give everybody a break. I am a little bit worried particularly considering guys like Romer and Hamilton play both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
We're starting to get our guys a little bit gassed here. This is where conditioning comes in again, but
Braden Baker, no surprise, not in the game. He is on the bench, and he is either braced or iced on the left knee. So we'll keep an eye on that. Helmet is off. First down and 10 for the Tigers from the 36. Hollingshead from the shotgun. Give to Cody West, who is contacted at the 35, but still going to the 40. Across midfield. Nice run for Cody West. Easy first down for the Tigers, all the way into the Blazers territory at the 47.
For those of you who are watching on our YouTube channel, you saw that great little spin move at the start, which broke a tackle and ultimately put Cody in the position to really break forward. I don't think anybody got a hand on him after that until the final tackle.
With Baker out, hopefully not for the longer than the rest of the game, but with Baker out, Cody West is going to be the guy in the Lander run attack. He is back there with Paxton Hollingshead from the shotgun again. Pax has 2 receivers wide side right and a couple attached, and now 1 in motion from left to right at that right tight end spot. Give is to Cody West, who has a big hole. Cody West.
Nobody touching.
With some room, contacted finally over the 30-yard line at the 29. But that was the first time that he had been contacted, as you see here on the Gambles replay.
Solid running by West on that play. And I think we're starting to see a real hole. I mean, like, holes are opening up for this kid that, quite frankly, you could park 2 cars end to end and get through.
He's getting a lot better holes than Braden Baker has, and you give Cody West too much room and he'll do just as much damage. Nice run there from West for a fresh set of downs for the Tigers. Hollingshead from the shotgun. Cody West is to his right. A couple of receivers wide side to the right. Instead, it's Cody West again with a nice run. About 7-yard gain down to the 22.
Cody just ran almost hip to hip with his left tackle for about 5 extra yards on that play, which puts us at 1st and 10.
That's what you want to see. I think is Taj Prine over there. But that's either that or Hayden St. Clair. But that's what you want to see from your left tackle. You want to, as an offensive lineman, if you don't encounter someone right away to block, go to that second level and find somebody else. Cody West appreciative of that on that play.
2nd and 4 now.
It'll be Hollingshead from the shotgun. Cody West again to his right. It's been the Cody West show on this drive. We'll see if they go to him again. Nope, play action fake, and this will be a fade to Finn McFadden in the end zone. Finn up. Nice effort at the ball, but it falls onto the track off his hands, incomplete.
I kind of wonder, Scott, after that key injury, and by the way, it looks to me, based on what I'm seeing, again, the ice is high enough that it looks muscular, not necessarily skeletal.
I hope so.
But quite frankly, I'm willing to bet that Burton put a little bit of extra pressure on his front line guys to say, look, you got not indicting anyone, but saying we got to open up,
help out,
more help, please.
Following the incompletion, 3rd down and about 5 for the Tigers, still well inside Torrington territory. Hollingshead with Cody West to his left. This will be a give to West, who counters back to the left side of 20-15. Cody West upended at the 10-yard line, but good enough for a Tiger first down.
West solid on his feet throughout that play, tripped up right there at the end, but I got to say, Scott, the footwork from Cody West at this point is nothing less than superior.
He's a starting running back in a lot of 3A. I mean, the only reason he's not more popping on the stat sheet is because Braden Baker is on his team in his same backfield, but Cody West can hang in there on his own. Following the West run, it is 1st down and 10 just outside the 10-yard line. We'll say the 11. Hollingshead with, again, West to his right. A couple of receivers wide side right. This will be a give to Cody West with a spin move down to the 7. Inside the 5, Cody West fighting for the goal line. He is in. What a run from Cody West from 11 yards out.
We got a flag on the play in the backfield there, Scott.
It is coming back.
Dread.
Boy, you hate to see that because Cody West earned his paycheck on that run. He was a couple of great jukes and spin moves inside the 10, fighting for the goal line. He got there, but that's going to be another holding call negating a Lander Tiger touchdown run.
But that's not the first time that's happened to us, Scott. But quite frankly, Lander resiliency is not a rare quality among these kids.
Last time this happened, they just threw a fade up to Caleb Andrews, but that was after a lengthy break with the injury to Braden Baker. So we'll see how Lander wants to try to counter this. Good news is it's still 1st down. Less great news is it's 1st down and 20 from about the 22. Hollingshead has Cody West to his right, and now shifts him to his left. Got two receivers wide side to the right. Now a flip to Finn McFadden across the formation. Finn with a little bit of room, but swarmed under after a gain of about 4.
It's going to take a little bit more effort, Scott, as that moves the chain, but boy, we're still second and very long. Probably, what do you say, 2nd and 17 there?
Looks like about that. You may as well say 2nd and goal. It's not technically. The first down to gain is at the 2, I think. So the Tigers could get a first down, but they're obviously looking for the end zone in this sequence.
5 minutes left here on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard.
Hollingshead with, again, West to his right. Again, a couple of receivers wide side to the right. This will be a flip to Cody West, who does a nice job just to bring that in. And Cody West, with maybe the timing on that play thrown off a little bit with the snap and the pitch, is only good for about 3 yards. 3rd down and long.
Boy, that holding call really did set us back here.
Holding kills you.
By the way, Scott, this is the first field that I have seen where we have a clock, the play clock, actually on the end zones, counting down. I don't think it's been, I think it's been basically the line judge operating that clock.
Yeah, the back judge, yep. So normally the back judge will give the quarterback a 5 count at the end of the play clock. He doesn't have to do that here in Torrington because there are prominent play clocks, which are now down to 6 and 5 seconds. Now that you mentioned that, Mick, it's going to be Hollingshead snapping it with 2 seconds on that play clock, but does get it off. Slant over the middle, nearly intercepted, but Parker Burton does have it, and he's falling forward toward the first down, but it's going to be short.
In that play, Lander loaded Cody West up to the left side to try to throw a little bit more offense towards that man-to-man defense, but it didn't quite work as well as they had planned.
There's another Tiger on the grass, and it's the receiver, Parker Burton. Has his helmet off, immediately went to sit up, and he's looking at his right foot area. He's going to pop right up, but that's another injury.
That's an ankle.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. Hopefully that is the case and nothing serious about it. But it does bring up a 4th down decision for head coach Jim Burton. So on the one hand, you have a good kicker in Caleb Andrews.
And favorable winds.
That's why we wanted to kick into the wind, or with the wind, in the 2nd and 4th quarters. So I think you're going to see a field goal attempt here, but we'll see.
I don't know, Scott. I mean, like with this type of lead, the 21-9, are we going to go for it? And try to put, if we don't make it, it puts Torrington in an unfavorable field position.
4th and about 5. Hollingshead from the shotgun. Cody West to his left. Snaps a little bit high. Cody West has the clean mesh, though, and he's inside the 5. And a Lander Tiger touchdown.
I don't think Cody West got touched until about the 1-yard line there. Solid running.
Cody West on 4th down into the end zone. You see a look at the end of that play on the Gambles replay. The very end of that play on the Gambles replay. It's the celebration anyway, and Lander with a much-needed touchdown.
So 3:49 left here in the 2nd quarter as we get to the extra point.
Good snap, good hold. The kick is through. So, as Mick said, 3:49 to go. Lander 28, Torrington 9 on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard. Back after this on 1330 KOVE and county10.com.
At Fremont Motor Companies, Wyoming isn't just where we operate. It's where we belong. For over 85 years, we've stood alongside our community through life's big moments. From turning the key to turning the page in every journey that follows. Here, customers become neighbors, and neighbors become family. Visit us today at Fremont Chevrolet GMC Riverton or online at FremontChevyGMCRiverton.com. We are Wyoming. Together, let's drive.
We are Maven. We focus on the fundamentals, clean, simple designs with the very best modern materials and technologies. We refuse to compromise our mountain town roots to follow the well-worn path to $1. We choose instead to make game-changing gear and use it in the places and pursuits that inspire us every day. We are Maven, a company focused on the design and creation of innovative products for and by the modern outdoors.
Back here in Torrington, that's where I am, with Mick Pryor. Lander Tigers 28-9 over the Torrington Trailblazers in a first conference matchup for either of these two teams. Great first half for the Tigers, and I like your choice there. As it turned out, Mick to go for it. Ends up being a Tiger touchdown to widen the margin. Kick is out of the end zone for a Torrington touchback.
That's the first time, Scott, we've seen Torrington return attempt to return a kick in that type of formation. What's the advantage of that type of formation, that 5-2-2-5?
The 5-2-2-2.
There you go. Thank you.
And it just depends on the blocking scheme. And Evanston ran that in kind of garbage time in the second half, but they ran it very effectively against the Tigers. So I'll bet Torrington saw that on film and said, hey, let's work on that this week.
Because that's not a normal formation for special teams, I assume.
It depends. It just depends on what your team is most comfortable with and kind of the speed that you have in the back of that. Blazers 1st and 10 from the 20, following the touchback with Kramer, sending motion in front of him from the shotgun, has a single back to his right. Kramer throws to the right side to the check down. That is caught for a gain of about 2 yards, maybe 3, 2nd down.
Darian Herford had some pressure on that quarterback to force that throw a little bit prematurely. Kudos. Lander started showing five on the rush on that defensive stand.
And Herford was initially unblocked. Credit to the Torrington running back for getting over there just in time to help out his quarterback.
Only just.
2nd down, it actually ended up being a gain of 5, so 2nd and 5 coming up. It is Kramer from the shotgun. That ball batted down at the line of scrimmage. Most frustrating thing in the world for a quarterback. Great defensive play from the right side of the 3-4 for the Tigers.
That was Gavin Romer again. That's his second bat down of this game.
That's great. That's just good fundamentals. If you can't get to the quarterback, get your hands up. And that's why. It's now a 3rd and 5 for the Blazers. A little bit late getting the play call in, but they're out of the huddle quickly after that. So they still have 15 seconds left on the play clock.
Lander putting 4 up on the line.
This will be Kramer from the shotgun. Single back to his left. Option look, fake pitch as Kramer looks to get that first down himself. He's going to have it after a gain of about 6.
Gavin Romer had the look, but quite frankly, that quarterback just a little bit too quick on the shuffle and dragging those chains with him.
It was a good pitch, and it did juke Romer out a little bit. Defending the option, you just want to go after your assignment and forget what he does with the ball. And I think some tricky footwork and the nice fake pitch got the first down for the Blazers. So that brings the ball up to the 32-yard line. From the shotgun is Kramer. Has some time back there. He's going to unload down the field. He is looking for Griman, but overthrew him.
2:44 left here in the second quarter on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard. Lander leading it 28-9. So they'll spot it again. This will be the 3rd down and 10 on the 32 of Torrington.
Nice coverage downfield on that play from Hollingshead, among others. Not letting Griman behind him.
And I'll tell you, I will give the Torrington front line a little bit of credit to stop those big Lander defensive linemen is no small task.
2nd and 10 for the Blazers with Kramer from the shotgun. He has trips to his left and now shifts his running back to his left as well. Single receiver high to the right side. This will be a give to the running back Sandusky, who gets a nice chunk. Good gain of 4, brings up a 3rd down and 6.
Right before that play launched there, Scott, every head in the on the Blazer side of the ball was focused on that coaching staff. So very similar to what we saw. What was it back in? Green River was doing the same problem. Had the same problem of every head watching the coach.
3rd down and, say, a long 5 for the Blazers. Once again, Kramer from the shotgun has Griman in motion in front of him. It is going to be Griman who gets the jet sweep, breaks one tackle, and now is free for a 1st down and then some. Nice individual effort there to get what he needed for the 1st down from Londre Griman all the way up to the 49.
Cody West was the first one to touch that Blazer and almost had him wrapped up, but quite frankly just lost him on a shoestring tackle. Got up, immediately knew that he'd missed the ball.
Blazers hurrying up now, and Kramer is in trouble. He is brought down for a big sack. That's all the way back to the 36-yard line. That's a huge loss on 1st down.
Gavin Romer and Cody West on that play, and quite frankly, that to me was that was fixing the play. That was adjusting from the play before, Scott. I think that was a solid Cody West bounce back. Great resiliency on that kid to miss a tackle in the previous play, and then just to really force an error on Torrington's part with that sack.
Let's call that our Health Source Play of the First Half, presented by Health Source Chiropractic, Fremont County's only sports-certified chiropractic clinic. Stay in the game with a $10 new patient special for student athletes. Health Source Chiropractic, and we could have picked about 8 or 10 other plays for the play of the first half, but I'm going to go with a defensive play because the defensive guys never tend to get the credit unless you're Finn McFadden with a pick six in the first quarter. So that was a Torrington timeout. They've now taken 2. There's 1:45 left to go in the first half on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard. I think Torrington's bench just out of frustration and resetting things after that big sack. And credit again to the Lander defense, but now it is second down and forever. That's a 2nd and 22 for the Blazers. It's going to be Kramer from the shotgun. He's a single back to his right, 2-by-2 otherwise.
Lander spread pretty wide.
There's going to be whistles before the snap.
Great coverage set up by Lander on that, anticipating a throw.
Torrington called for a false start. That's going to make a bad situation worse for the Blazers. They'll back up 5. I have seen the Blazers move in a smidge early here and there, especially the receivers, and that might have been just too much not to get the call there. First time they've been called for it. And now we're going to back up to second in the parking lot. 2nd and 29 for the Blazers, moving in the wrong direction.
This will be on the 31-yard line of Torrington.
Kramer from the shotgun. Still have to be on your toes if you're the Tigers defense, though. Don't let them get a big chunk here. It's Kramer. Wants to go left, instead goes right. That ball, I think, is incomplete. His arm was going forward as it was knocked out. Good pursuit up the middle and from one of the end positions for the Tigers, brings up 3rd down.
That was Sawyer Natchell and Cody and Gavin Romer on the pressure there to affect that incomplete pass, or call it attempted a pass. It really was. There was no target.
Yeah, you don't want to eat that as a quarterback, because then you're in even worse shape, but that was very dangerous to try to do anything with that one. 3rd down and forever. There is no offensive play in your playbook for this. Usually like to see a draw or a screen here, but the Blazers are empty with Kramer back by himself. This is a wide receiver screen out to the right side to Griman. Griman with a couple blockers in front of him gets a good chunk, but not nearly enough for the first down. And I think you'll see a Lander timeout right now. At least I would, to stop the clock. They do.
First down for the Torrington Trailblazers is actually on the Lander 41-yard line. So Scott likes to tell you 4th and forever, but with some of the plays that we've seen thus far in from Lander as well as Torrington, forever is relative.
Forever
Come on,
is relative. This one I think you're going to see a punt on, though. I don't think you go for it.
Oh gosh, no, not with 1:29 left.
So we saw, for the first time in a couple seasons, for the first time in 3 years, some very great clock management at the end of halves by Lander in the Evanston game. At the very end of the first half, as it was. And Lander's planning on that again. They've used 2 of their timeouts. They do have 1 left. We'll see if they can get some points before the end of the half, which is...
What do you think, Scott? Do you just stick it to the run game, or do you air it out a little bit after you've received the ball back, assumably?
I think both. I think you can afford to run a little bit, especially early in this series, because the clock's going to stop for a moment on a first down. Get a clean punt off first things first here for the Blazers. It is a good snap. It's a high, good kick. Finn McFadden watches it bounce in front of him, and they'll let it go down to the 24. So there is some time with 1:18 on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard in the second quarter. Lander with 1 timeout.
1 timeout, the ball on the 25, 1st and 10. No fear, right? Do you remember those good old T-shirts?
We got them right where we want them.
And I'll tell you, I like Scott, again, momentum, resiliency really speaks to the themes that we're seeing from this Lander Tiger defense and offense. I can't tell you how proud I am of watching these kids move this ball. I wouldn't say we've got a rhythm yet, but quite frankly, whatever we're banging out sure has a really nice tone.
It's working on the scoreboard, 28-9. Tigers trying to add on to that before the end of the first half.
And a timeout.
They can't take a timeout.
They just did.
You can't take consecutive timeouts. You can't take 2 timeouts in a row, but the officials are going to let them do it. So, that's interesting. Lander out of timeouts, but you're right, Mick. There were 7 seconds left on the play clock when the play was being run in. But Lander had just taken a timeout prior to 4th down. I suppose there was the punt was after that. Yeah, so you can't take 2 timeouts in a row, but there was a play run in between the 2 timeouts.
So now that you've got a little bit more time to discuss it, Scott, what changes?
I don't think anything. I think there was just, and this might be on the coaches, just taking too long to get the play call in. I think the strategy is the same, where I run it a couple of times first just to see how porous that defensive line is on this drive. And then when you get to about midfield, hopefully further, you can work in Finn McFadden a little bit.
And
but
so if you're Torrington, Scott, with 19 points between you and the leader, what are you telling that whole team right there
Can't give up points. I would tell them this is the football game. It may not be literally true, but they have to act like if you give up points on this drive, it's that important for the Torrington defense. So out of Lander's final timeout, they're going to start 1st and 10 from the 25. Hollingshead is alone and now sends Finn McFadden in front of him, and this will be Pax floating one down the field to Parker Burton. Good coverage down there on the wheel route. Incomplete, brings up 2nd down.
Solid coverage by the Torrington Blazers on defense there. I had ultimately got around him, playing the ball. Solid play of the ball. No real
great
threat
coverage,
of any type of pass interference there.
Incompletion will stop the clock, so 1:12 to go on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard. 2nd down and 10. Hollingshead with Cody West to his right. Has Parker Burton attached to his right. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Hollingshead rolling out, designed rollout. Going to flip it ahead to Parker Burton again. He'll cross the 31, and I think he got out of bounds. He did. 1:05 with the clock stopped.
We're back into that theme, Scott, of clock management. So Coach Burton, as well as that offense, is really doing some solid clock management here, even with a 19-point lead.
Gotta look for that 1st down because you don't want a 4th down decision here at this point on the field. So Lander Tigers with, again, thanks Mick, 3rd and 4. Hollingshead from the shotgun in a little bit of trouble up the middle, so he's going to tuck it, and he will be sacked. Hollingshead is sacked for a loss of about 4, and that's not what you want from a clock management perspective. Now it's 4th down and the clock rolling under 50 seconds to go.
Oh, shoot. Well, just a little bit unfortunate there. And Hollingshead took his time. I think I'm not going to call that any type of engineering. He was not looking for any type of
he had pressure up the middle
downfield.
Immediately. Yeah, he never had a chance to go through his read progression there at all. Interesting, Torrington's going to take their returner and they're going to move him up to the line of scrimmage. So they're not going to try to return this kick. They're going to try to get a block with the extra man.
20 seconds now on the clock.
They do have to snap this ball. Good snap, nearly blocked, but it is away, and the ball with no returner back there will bounce to the 25 and roll to the 20 with 3 seconds remaining in the 2nd quarter.
I think, quite frankly, that's as good a clock management in tight situations as you can get. Lander snapped that right as the play clock clicked to 0.
And the trouble with Torrington there, sending the extra attacker, now it almost worked. They had a lot of pressure on the punter, but the clock is going to roll for as long as the ball does, and you're not going to make any progress on the field without a returner back there, obviously. So this, I think, is a kneel down for the Torrington Blazers, and you take your losses into halftime. But importantly, they're still in the game by stopping Lander on that drive.
Fully agree. So they'll start it at the 20, 1st and 10. Pardon me, the 19.
This is going to be a kneel down from Kramer. He takes this. Nope, I'm sorry. He's given the ball. That's a dangerous play. Giving the ball to his running back, Colby Sandusky. And he's tackled after a gain of 1. That brings us to halftime. Lander Tigers up 28-9 on the Torrington Trailblazers. Back after this with the the Buckle Up for Life YDOT halftime show. We'll get to the Bailey Tire and Auto postgame show at the end of the game. YDOT Buckle Up for Life halftime show is coming up next here on 1330 KOVE and County10.com.
Myers Gambles is your one-stop shop for furniture, mattresses, and appliances in Lander, Wyoming. We have an unbeatable selection of furniture for your living room, bedroom, and dining room. Plus, we have the latest trends in home furnishings. Our mattresses are comfortable and affordable, and our appliances are built to last. Whether you're looking for a new TV, sofa, or refrigerator, we have the perfect finish, style, and function for your home. Visit us at 420 Main Street in Lander, or check out our website, landergambles.com, today.
Elevate Rehab's founding principle on you is evident from your first visit to the last. Our practice model ensures treatment as you deserve, a private one-on-one session with a licensed therapist the entire visit, every visit. All therapists hold advanced credentialing, including 2 certified hand therapists, an orthopedic clinical specialist, an MDT therapist, as well as pelvic floor and pregnancy rehab offerings. With over 100 years of combined experience between our 7 clinicians, Elevate is your ticket to health. Find us in Lander or Dubois and visit our website or Facebook page. Choose Elevate Rehab to elevate your outcomes.
Welcome to Bailey Tire Pros, your local tire and auto repair specialists in Riverton and Lander. Say no to endless online tire listings and experience the convenience of local service. With unbeatable prices and top quality tires, we're here to change the game. Quality service and expert staff ensure you always get the right fit for your car. Choose local. Choose Bailey Tire Pros, where your satisfaction hits the road.
Welcome to Haskell Furniture and Flooring in Riverton. Discover a huge variety of top brands like Ashley, Tempur-Pedic, Serta, Lazy Boy, and more. Our showroom is filled with stylish and comfortable furniture for every room. Come visit us at 2210 North Federal and transform your home today. Explore the exceptional quality and unbeatable prices we offer. Visit HaskellFurnitureandFlooring.com to learn more. Haskell Furniture and Flooring. Best prices, better service.
Baldwin Creek Rental Service in Lander is a proud supporter of sports and athletics here in Fremont County. Baldwin Creek Rental Center understands how expensive specific equipment can be, especially if it's for a one-time use or event. That's why they offer tools and equipment rentals. For many years, Baldwin Creek has provided services to clients in Lander and the surrounding areas. From lawn and garden projects to graduation parties, they have the right equipment for you. Baldwin Creek Rental Center, located at 675 Baldwin Creek Road in Lander.
Hey, Fremont County, listen up! This is your game changer, Health Source of Riverton with Dr. Jonathan Fabian, the only certified chiropractic sports physician in the area. For a limited time, student athletes get a $10 new patient special. That includes a full initial evaluation, needed x-rays, and a doctor-prescribed pain relief session. Just mention this ad when you call. Stay in the game with expert care from Health Source of Riverton. Call 463-2770 and tell them you heard about the $10 student athlete special.
Watch every Tigers game in high-definition streaming video on the County 10 YouTube page.
We're at halftime in Torrington. Lander Tigers where they want to be after 2 quarters on the scoreboard, 28-9 on top of the Torrington Blazers. This is the YDOT Buckle Up for Life halftime show. YDOT reminding you that seatbelts save lives. Buckle up so you can stay in the game every time, every ride. Scott Fuller and Mick Pryor here at, again, halftime. So, eventful first quarter, Mick. The first couple of drives of this game, we had, let's see if I can go back in my memory. The Lander Tigers got the ball first. They ran 2 plays. The first was an 80-yard scamper from Braden Baker down to the 2 or the 1 yard line. He then punched it in. Hopefully not a season-altering outcome in the second quarter when Braden Baker on another touchdown run effort was injured and hasn't returned to the game. So we'll have more information on that as it becomes available. But it was Lander's defense stepping up when needed, the offense coming through apart from Baker and certainly including him in the first quarter for this 28-9 lead at the half.
Well, and Scott, remember, we had 3 touchdowns in 3 minutes.
Yep.
Very, very quick.
Pick 6 from Finn McFadden for the second score for the Tigers.
Almost the inverse of what you would expect in a game. A quick bunch of scores and then kind of a slow meandering, although not really a drive-driven game, mainly a play-driven game here in the first half.
The Torrington Blazer defense to that point, give them credit, when Baker was in the game, did a good job of adjusting to the wishbone formation, kind of shut that down a little bit in the second quarter, and Lander had to get a little bit more creative, and then they lost Baker. Give some credit to Cody West, though, and the Lander offensive line. Next man up, Cody West, no slouch of a running back himself, and took the ball into the score himself, the end zone himself, in Baker's absence. Do we have any scores from around 3A on this first night of conference play? It's early in the evening. It feels like that was a quick-moving first half.
Not really, Scott. As I look through Max Prep's scoreboard, I'm not seeing anything. I see a lot of games in progress, but no score updates.
Gotcha. Not unusual. We will check a couple of sources, and we'll get a... Lander Tiger fans are very interested in Riverton at Douglas tonight. That's a pair of teams that Lander has not played yet and will play in the next 2 weeks, as a matter of fact. The home game, I believe, next Friday is against Douglas, and then you have the Keeper the Gold game with Riverton and Lander. This is the one, though, that I said at the beginning of the year, and certainly reinforced by their victory over Evanston last week. When Lander beat Evanston, you start looking at Torrington, and obviously a game you want for conference play. But Torrington is a team you have to beat if you're going to beat a Douglas and then a Riverton. This is your first step.
This is your crossroad guard right here. And, as we look around, what's going on? So tonight, Rollins is at Buffalo. That's, I believe, not we see Buffalo in 2 or 3 weeks.
They are the last game of the regular season, I think.
Right now, our pals from Green River are over at are hosting Evanston. Riverton is at Douglas, just up the road. And then beyond that, some interesting stuff across Park County. Powell is at Cody, so probably some interesting plays there. And then the other kind of interesting 3A matchup is Jackson at Star Valley. And
yeah, that's interesting. I would imagine Star Valley takes that game, but Jackson's the weird 3A team this year. Jackson is this year what Lander was last year. Historically, not a very good program in the last 5 or so years.
But a sleeper.
But they're a little bit undersized, but they have some skill position. They have one particular athlete, and I'm not going to be able to think of his name off the top of my head, but it's been described to me as video game speed, like faster by a factor of 2 than anybody else on the field. So I'm not sure that by itself is enough to nickel and dime your way against a Star Valley, but if that game is close in the second half, that would be interesting. I think Jackson has a lot that they're trying to prove after being down for several seasons.
So, Scott, if you had a half a game ball at this point, looking at the Lander roster, who would you start probably handing that off to?
Do I only have one?
Well, okay, let's do an offense and a defense. Ball of the half.
Offense and defense. Gavin Romer, I think, had a really good first half.
2 bats.
Yeah, 2 bats.
And plenty of pressure.
And I think a couple of sacks on top of that. Finn McFadden hasn't been a factor in the passing game, but he did have the pick 6. Braden Baker out with an injury, so you have to give it to Cody West, who, after losing his backfield mate, went right down half of the field and scored a touchdown on his own. So if I had to pick just 2, I'd say Gavin Romer and Cody West.
And I would give Gavin West maybe consideration on both sides of the ball.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It late there in the second, a missed shoestring tackle that added a little bit of yardage for Torington, but in the very next play, teamed up with Romer to put pressure and ultimately sack that quarterback. I got to hand it to a kid who misses something like that and gets up in the next play and makes the play. That's not a teachable skill.
And there are so many kids on this Lander team, offensive and defense, that do that. They have a big motor, and they keep going. A lot of heart. I do have to make this correction. Thank you, Tony, in the live chat right now. You're going to enjoy this. You're aware, Mick, the original owner of County 10, Jason Kinsler.
Hey, Jason.
That's his son I'm talking about in Jackson, the star athlete. So, yes. Thank you, Tony. I can't believe that skipped my mind. But Wyoming's a small town, as they say, and sometimes you get mixed up. So thank you, Tony. I did have that information, but obviously I didn't have it a couple of moments ago. All right, we're going to take a break, come back for the Wide Out Buckle Up for Life halftime show, 6:40 to go until the third quarter. So we'll come back right after this here on 1330. What did I just say? On the halftime clock, 6:33 to go. We'll come back with more after this here on 1330 KOVE and County10.com.
The choice is yours. Sutherland's Friends of the Family Plus Consumer Credit Card lets you choose from 5% off instantly at the register or special financing on qualifying purchases. That means no forms, no waiting, no rebates. You can choose 5% off instantly with your Sutherland's credit card. Got a big project? Choose special financing. The choice is yours with Sutherland's Friends of the Family Plus Consumer Credit Card. Subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payment required. See store for details. Only at Sutherland's.
Who is RE/MAX All-Star Realtors? We're a professional real estate agency where your success is our priority. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, we're here to guide you every step of the way. With unmatched professionalism and a track record of delivering results, we're your trusted partners in real estate. Your success is our top priority. Find your perfect property with RE/MAX All-Star Realtors. Contact us at 307-856-7827 or visit remaxriverton.com.
The Tyler Watson State Farm Agency is a proud supporter of Riverton High School Wolverine Athletics. We understand the importance of community, and we're excited to be a part of it. As your neighbor, we're here to help you with all your insurance needs. We offer auto, homeowners, renters, business, and life insurance. So stop in and say hi, or give us a call today. The Tyler Watson State Farm Agency will be here for you.
I'm Winslow Friday, Director of the Wind River Intertribal Council Department of Transportation. It makes me and my crew happy when you buckle up. It just might save your life.
I'm gonna get us home.
Buckle up for life, Wyoming!
Lander Tiger football is on the air. Here is Scott Fuller.
Welcome back to Torrington. We're at halftime. Lander Tigers where they want to be after two quarters on the scoreboard. 28-9 on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard. A lot of storylines, a lot of action in the first half of this game. One of the bigger storylines, we hope not for the rest of Lander's season, is the loss of their star running back, Braden Baker, who went out in the second quarter with what looked to be a lower body injury. He had his knee area wrapped. I know I don't speculate about injuries, but that's kind of what I just did. You worry about that for a running back. And you worry about it, Mick, for offensive and defensive, frankly, but more offensive for the Lander Tigers. I don't want to say he is their offensive identity because that's not an accurate statement.
No, that's not.
But when you have a kid who can carry the ball 34 times last week and rush for 198, he rushed for a 260-some yard game last season. He is someone that you have to coach against when you're playing Lander, and it would be a big loss. Hopefully that's not the case beyond this game.
You know, Scott, if I were critiquing Coach Burton, I think this is an opportunity to start to feed in and slot in, different plays with different folks and just see how it goes. I mean, like sometimes, and this is true of a lot of things. Constraint results in the most creative outcomes, and I think that this is kind of what we're seeing from Lander. And so far, so good. And
Cody West is no slouch.
Absolutely not.
Cody can come in and start on half of the teams in 3A. You just don't want that to be a forced situation because of an injury. So hopefully it's not as bad as it kind of appeared with Braden Baker. But as we mentioned, next man up. So I liked your point, Mick, about you got to tell your offensive line, hey, we've got Cody's great, but you got the second string guy in there, and you really need to make life as easy as you can for him. And then Cody West isn't afraid of contact and to carry the ball either.
And I'll tell you, I'm not disappointed, but I'm certainly. I think we should also be aware and point out that Torrington has done a solid job in blocking the pass, or at least stifling the pass so far this game.
Yes, indeed. Want to thank those of you checking in on the live chat. That's something that I don't talk about as much. My colleague at County 10 calling the RHS games in Douglas right now, Jared Anderson, is a master at live fan interaction. I'm not talented enough to do that as a broadcaster, but thanks to Tony and PJ and Steven for checking in. Always a great couple of Lander Tiger fans that we've heard from in seasons past as well. So we're about 90 seconds away from starting the third quarter. Thoughts as we get into quarter number 3. So it is going to be Torrington's ball. They are going to have the wind with them for at least this quarter. What do you think offensively? Is this hyperbole to say a must-score drive for Torrington?
Yeah, ultimately, Scott, look, we're doing slashes we're doing slashes here. This is not a drive football game. This is a single play type of football game at this point. At least up until now. I don't know. Is this the point in time where the whole game changes back to the traditional format of planned drives, clock management, and methodical scoring? Or is this are we just going to look, I think both teams recognize that they're at the crossroads here, starting 3A East Conference play. So
yeah, I think that's what Lander wants to do. I think they would very much enjoy 12 play drives that take about 6 or 8 minutes off of the clock. I think that's what they want to try to accomplish. For Torrington, there's a little bit more of a sense of urgency just because they're down a couple of scores.
I think, quite frankly, what we're going to see from the Lander defense right out the gate is a little bit more. I think you're going to show blitz a little bit more aggressively this time around.
I like that. Give them some different looks. This has been the YDOT Buckle Up for Life halftime show, brought to you by YDOT, reminding you seatbelts save lives. Buckle up so you can stay in the game every time, every ride. Thanks to those of you joining us back home in Fremont County and wherever you might be watching through county10.com. Torrington, I want to give Mick a pat on the back. You haven't had one Torrington dig this whole broadcast.
And I had so many coming up.
So many of them on the way. I was starting to get a little bit worried.
It's tough when you're upwind from the feedlots,
I was worried they were going to run us out of the press box and out of town once you got going.
No, sorry. No, folks. We love it out here in western Nebraska, but, we do it's 70 degrees right now, Scott. How can you complain when it's 70 degrees and, an hour past dark?
And the breeze is a little bit of factor in the game, but if I'm a fan in the stands watching right now, this is perfect.
This is Scott. This is Central Texas football right now.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, not too far from it. That's what Lander's going to be aiming for anyway, as a standard bar, as they will play defense first, having to kick off to Torrington as we begin the third quarter. So as Lander opens up conference play undefeated, they're going to want to shut the door on Torrington and move on to some of the other bigger games on their schedule, and it lines up kind of nicely, I think, as a stepping stone. You got Torrington here, if you can escape this one. You got Douglas at home. You got that Riverton game circled in a couple of weeks.
Always, I think I didn't mention this to you, but way back in the 90s, that game was always on a Saturday, midday, in the bright of day, and it was ultimately, that rivalry was so intense that police were reluctant to turn students loose in a dark parking lot after a game.
Sure, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, you guys know. You remember.
Oh, it's still a fun rivalry. It just hasn't been as fun on the football field in the last few years.
Oh, you need equally matched teams, and we're probably at that point of ascendancies.
That's what we're hoping for.
Quite frankly, that was really the gist in the early 90s was, we had two really, really well-matched teams who even saw each other head-to-head in the state championship a couple of times.
Man, those were the days.
Oh, I tell you, Riverton came out victorious most of the time there. Just had some really good runners and quarterbacks. But
I'll see if I can get Jared to give us a score on that Riverton-Douglas game, because that is one that Lander has circled, those are their next two opponents in consecutive weeks. Douglas down a couple of stars from last year who's seniors, but they are always physical. They are always pesky. First things first here, though. Lander where they want to be, but they got to close the door on Torrington on the road.
This special teams is getting a little bit of a pep talk from coaches, and boy, I'm seeing some jittery Lander players over there. They
jittery
look
good, jittery bad?
Jittery good.
Good.
I see guys who are, eyeballing Torrington special teams, and I suspect we might see a little bit more speed this round with this kick. And we're lined up again, 5-2-2-2.
5-2-2-2.
I think Torrington is loaded for bear. They know Lander is coming this time around.
It worked against the Tigers in Evanston the one time that the Red Devils went to that kick return. They brought it back. I think that was a touchdown on a kickoff return, actually. So there's no chance that Torrington's coaching staff didn't see that on film, and they've switched to that for the last couple of kick returns.
This is the problem. The deeper you go into the season, there's more tape to review and ultimately more tells.
You don't have to tell me about it, Mick. I'm a coach's nightmare. What do you show and when do you show it? All right, third quarter action. Lander's kicking into the wind. Torrington with the football to start the third quarter. This ball is going to be returned by Sandusky. Sandusky with a block and eluding a couple of low tackle attempts out to about the 31-yard line. That's where the Blazers will start their first drive of the third quarter.
So picked it up at the 6, made it back to the 31, 32. What are we calling that? The 31.
Good return.
30.
Good return.
So we'll start the opening drive of the third quarter with 11:53, so 7 seconds on that opening kick. First and 10 for the 30 for the Torrington Trailblazers.
No doubt a big drive for the Blazers here. Good field position. Starting from the 31. It is going to be Kramer, who is from the shotgun. Single back to his left. Two receivers left, one to the right. Designed run for Kramer. Right into the teeth of the Lander 3-4 for a good gain of 3.
I'm going to say, Scott, maybe my prediction of going back to kind of the traditional drive format is what we're seeing here. I don't know if it's necessarily the function of, hey, we're running out of gas. Let's try to do a little bit of conditioning management as opposed to clock management.
Call it a gain of 4 actually with Kramer from the shotgun. Two wide receivers to the right. Now send their star receiver in motion from right to left. It's going to be a throw into the flat to Greiner. And a flag thrown from right in front of the Lander sideline, probably a holding or block call against Torrington, so we'll check that.
That tight end was more or less wrapped up on that tackler, who managed to outmaneuver him just a little bit. And, that's a hold.
There's a hold against the Blazers on what was essentially kind of a wide receiver screen.
So that'll put it back to a second and 10.
That's a killer. It's actually going to be second down and 13 from the spot of where that foul occurred, which was at the end of the play. So
kills you.
Not as much of a backbreaker as a usual offensive line holding call is, but never a good thing. Backing the Blazers up. Now on the other side of the 30-yard line, as Kramer has a couple of receivers to the right, one left. He'll send Greiner in motion from left to right this time in front of the formation, so trips right. Kramer with the option to the right side. Good read, good pitch. Sandusky along the right side, breaking free from a couple of tackles. He'll have that Torrington first down up past the 45, near the 48-yard line.
Solid run there by Sandusky off of that option flip, and had a little bit of high knees there for a second, and kind of watching his ankles as he had to spin around at least once to get through there. Lander just, quite frankly, not Johnny on the spot with the tackle.
I love the pitch, too, there. Drew Kramer with the appropriate read and a good pitch. Also early enough where he wasn't going to get killed, but late enough where it was effective.
Yeah, kudos on that play to the Blazers.
They're up to the 49 now after that with a fresh set. First and 10. Kramer from the shotgun. Trips left side, wide side, 1. Short side to the right. Kramer takes the shotgun snap. Give to Sandusky, who is contacted pretty much right away by that front 3 for the Tigers. Gain of 1, second down.
That was Taj Prine on the stop there. Solid work from that kid. We haven't seen a whole lot of the big action plays, but quite frankly, as part of that big front line for the Tigers, I think we got to give that kid a little bit of a nod. He's there on every tackle, just usually the stop.
I think it's Lander's most important unit as a team, the front three defense they run. This will be a shotgun to Kramer, play action, throw back to Grimer. That's incomplete. Ball bounced. Not sure that was going to work for Torrington anyway. Brings up third down.
Corbin Fiddler somehow managed to puncture through that front line and provided enough pressure to that quarterback where that pass just didn't quite do what it was supposed to do. Solid pressure from the Tigers coming from all angles.
Be third down coming up. Torrington taking their time in the huddle. Still plenty of time on the play clock at 16, now 15 seconds as they break the huddle. Lander ready and waiting for him at the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 9 coming up. It is Kramer under center. 2 receivers to either side. Griner is now in motion. He'll set behind his quarterback. Play action fake. He'll throw to the left side. The ball is just out of the reach.
And a flag on the play in the backfield there. Probably a late hit.
Colby Sandusky, the intended receiver. See if it's hopefully a hold or maybe more likely a late hit on Lander.
I'll tell you what, that quarterback dropped back about 12 yards. It almost looked like he was making a fairly large end run there.
There's going to be a late hit on the quarterback, roughing the passer. I think they may have gotten Cody West.
That was Cody.
Tough break there.
Oh, but I'll tell you what, quite frankly, I think that quarterback saw it coming and dropped back a little bit further than is probably comfortable, as far as range.
So that is a first down, and after they mark off 15, it will be down to the 35-yard line. Kramer from the shotgun. This is an option to the left side this time, and Sandusky gets past the first level, upended after a gain of 5.
Corbin Fiddler again with some solid penetration, almost picked off that pitch. And I think, quite frankly, we're starting to see a change-up in some of the defensive schemes here, Scott. I'm seeing new names, new numbers, making the plays for the Tigers.
I like different looks. You also have to replace Braden Baker at linebacker when he's in there. He is still out with a knee, early injury that occurred in the first half. 2nd down and 7, so only really a gain of 3 on that play. It is Torrington from the shotgun with Kramer. Back deep behind him. It's a play-action fake throw to the right side. That ball is going to be caught by Hackett. Hackett is brought down at about the 22, but that is good enough for another Blazers first down.
Finn McFadden on the tackle. 8:26 now on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard, counting down. So, 28. Lander still leads 28-9 here here in the early part of the third quarter.
About the 22, the line of scrimmage. This is a solid drive so far for the Blazers. Helped out by a personal foul and roughing the passer call, but they're moving the chains. It is Kramer from the shotgun. This will be a give on the draw to Sandusky. Sandusky, I thought I heard a whistle.
Yeah, there's a whistle.
I heard a whistle in that play. Sandusky scampers to the end zone. He thought he scored a touchdown, but the referee from behind the play, I think, blew the play dead. Let's see how they sort this out.
They were signaling a dead play there. A little bit of banter from the crowd.
Sandusky was certainly acting like he... Oh, boy. Fans really aren't going to like this. That was an inadvertent whistle that is going to negate a Torrington touchdown. So
we start again?
The referee basically said, my bad.
Oops.
But they can't, after the whistle blows, you can't allow the end of the play. So this is a redo. Right. This is 1st and 10. Boy, that's a tough break for the Blazers.
Solid running, too.
We'll redo it as Kramer is in the shotgun with a single back to his left. This will be the exact same play, this time much better read by the Tigers as Sandusky is swallowed up in the backfield. I think had the referee opened up his mic and explained what just happened, there would have been a mild riot from this homecoming crowd.
Caleb Andrews on the stop there. Solid. Again, Scott, we're seeing new names, new numbers, making plays here in the Tiger secondary and right at the line.
Ends up being a loss of 3. 7.5 to go in the third quarter on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard. Tigers up 28-9, but the Blazers knocking on the door near the red zone. Kramer checks for a second play call from the sideline, from the shotgun. Play action fake. Kramer's loading it up. Fade to the end zone. Into double coverage. That ball's intercepted by Finn McFadden in the end zone.
I tell you what, Scott, it I would say caps off a lot of pressure that we're starting to see from the. I don't know what happened in that halftime locker room, but quite frankly, this is a different spark with respect to the Tiger defense. I can't quite put my finger on it yet, but like I said, for the last several plays, we're seeing new names, new numbers coming in, making those plays, and putting new pressure on Torrington in ways that they are not anticipating.
I think Hollingshead was back there as well. That's from the safety position. That's a ball a quarterback should not throw, but a really great athletic play by Finn McFadden, and he fell into the end zone, so they'll start from the 20 after the touchback. It's Pax from the shotgun. Cody West to his left. Give us to West. He has a clean hole. Up to about the 25 for a good gain of maybe 5 if they'll give it to him. Second down coming up.
Solid opening made by Caleb Hamilton and Gavin Romer to push West through and punch it in for a 2nd and 5 setup.
This is what you want. You want long, sustained 80-yard, 8-minute touchdown drives to put this game away in the remainder of this quarter and in the fourth quarter. If you can get away with 3, 4, 5-yard carries, I think you do quite a few of those for the remainder of this game.
Evanston Red Devils, anyone?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Hollingshead from the shotgun on 2nd down and 5. Cody West to his right, single receiver to the left, couple attached right. This will be a pitch out to Cody West. Cody puts his foot in the ground, gets about 2, will force a 3rd down and maybe 4, maybe a long 3.
Ooh, I'd go with a long 3 there, Scott. So just a hair above 6 minutes left here in the third quarter, halfway through. Lander leading at 28-9 here on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard. And I'll tell you what, the tide has turned again. I think
seems to be. Yeah. Let's finish off this drive, but I'm with you. Lander in a good spot, but they do face a 3rd down. Hollingshead from the shotgun, couple of receivers wide side left. Cody West will get the ball off a high snap. West impacts the back of his offensive line, bounces off right tackle, and is still on his feet. Plenty for a Lander first down, and across the 40 to about the 43.
Solid running there by West. Had probably about 6, at any point in time, probably had contact or glancing blows with about 6 Blazers on that run. So, and we weren't doing much with the fake, but quite frankly, if you can outrun them, it really doesn't matter.
Cody West has taken every rushing attempt since Braden Baker left the game, including Hollingshead, who hasn't attempted one from the quarterback position. So, interesting to see if Cody West is going to remain in the game taking this kind of workload. He has been just fine so far. First down and 10 from the 43.
Uh-oh.
That may be a fumble, as that's a forward pass from Pax and Hollingshead. There was some kind of miscommunication between Pax and Cody West. Cody West wasn't looking to get that ball.
I don't know if it was Cody West who was actually intended for that ball. That might have been Natchell, who was the intended receiver there. I'm not entirely sure on that shovel.
He can't on the line. That would not be legal. But I think a miscommunication, and the referee right behind the play immediately said, no, that was a forward pass. Boy, that's a break for the Tigers.
I'd say so. 2nd
down and 10. Following the incompletion, it's Hollingshead from the shotgun with Cody West to his left. 2 receivers wide side left. Give us to Cody West, who reverses field. Now cuts back up for a solid gain of about 5. 3rd down coming up.
West at the end of that play basically doing a hurdle flip over the that middle linebacker. I don't know, Scott. One of the things that I'm noticing as they're taking the snap, it's been fairly consistent, a high snap, which might at some point cause some trouble for the Tigers. Hollingshead is repeatedly taking it over his head or right at his face mask on those snaps.
Well, the Tigers run basically an RPO from the shotgun anyway, and that's all timing, and it does throw off the timing of your play if you have a higher snap. 3rd down and 4. Hollingshead with again a high snap. Gets it down, gives it to Cody West with a lane on the right side. Cody West with some room to the 35. Finally dragged down after plenty for a Tiger first down to about the 20-yard line.
just to give you folks a little bit of an idea of, that was some solid momentum from Cody West. Contact at the 35, basically drug down at the 30, with a Blazer in tow. I got to give that kid credit. That was a trip up, not really a tackle.
He came up last year. Oh, why can't I remember his name? But he was kind of the third string back. Caleb Larvey was opposite Braden Baker last year, and he's very similar to Larvey in that he's speedy enough, but he's certainly not afraid to take a hit. A lot of workload in this game. He'll get the ball again. Will Cody West. Cody is still on his feet, breaking some tackles to the 15, falls forward to the 13-yard line. Plenty for a Lander Tiger first down. Cody West show here on this drive.
In that play, it looks like it was originally designed as a right swing, and West, good heads-up play, reads the defense correctly and changes course back to midfield, where the ball now is situated between the hash marks. Actually, just off the right hash, but solid vision on West's part.
And this is what, I'm not sure why the clock is stopped for a first down. It will roll now with 3:32 to go, but this is a long time-consuming, most important for the Tigers' drive. Try to end this with some points. This is a broken play and whistles after flag against the Tigers. And they're going to get Finn McFadden is who they called anyway for moving early. That might actually not have hurt the Tigers. That was another miscommunication between Hollingshead and Cody West. At least Hollingshead was expecting West to be a certain place for the mesh, and West was already downfield blocking.
So they'll spot it on the 19-yard line, so it'll be 1st and 15 now with 3:15 counting down on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard.
Tigers moving into the wind. Hopefully will not affect the kicking game, because hopefully we find the end zone, but they are going into the wind for at least the remainder of the third. Give us to Cody West right side with some room to the 10. Cody West contacted at the 5, falling into the end zone for a Lander Tiger touchdown.
Solid running by Cody West there. Nobody touching him until the 5-yard line. So realistically, a solid, what do you think, Scott? 15 yards of no Blazer in sight.
Cody West doing the brunt of the labor on that drive for the Lander Tigers. Taking a lot of contact, but gobbling up a lot of yards all the way down the field for the Tigers. Time-consuming drive. And the PAT pending.
About 6 minutes on that drive.
Point after is up. And it is good. Tigers 35, Torrington Blazers 9 late in the third quarter. Back after this on 1330 KOVE and county10.com.
Everyone has a ritual. That small thing to keep us focused.
A habit we never skip. To clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game? To drown out the self-doubt and support your mental health. Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mental health. Discover the resources that you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
I'm Winslow Friday, Director of the Wind River Intertribal Council Department of Transportation. It makes me and my crew happy when you buckle up. It just might save your life.
I'm gonna get us home.
Buckle up for life, Wyoming!
Welcome back to Torington. Lander Tiger touchdown drive has them up 35-9 on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard. There was a personal foul at the end of the PAT against Torrington, so Lander is actually going to kick this from the 45 of the Blazers.
So, Scott, I've got to ask you, looking at the adjustments that the Blazers have had to make with Brendan Baker out, and that's probably who they were looking at most of their film all week on.
Sure.
Now with the addition of Cody West, why aren't these guys able to adjust? I mean, they are not obviously not the same person, but roughly speaking, on paper, a lot of the same skill set. So what's different?
That's a very good question, Mick, as the kick will go out of the back of the end zone, and I'm not sure I have a great answer. If nothing else, Braden Baker is more of a threat in the pass game out of the backfield than Cody West is. But that doesn't explain why Cody West is having more success, not more success, but as much success as Braden Baker did in the first half on the ground. I can't tell you. It could get down to, this is my speculation, but there are tells that you study on certain guys. Classic example is Torrington's to the line on 1st and 10, but is a running back going to shift his eyesight to the hole that he's about to hit? For example,
I think that might be the key difference. Is West is a little bit more adjusting.
I would be shocked, as a nice run here by Torrington's quarterback Kramer for about 5 yards. I'd be shocked if Braden Baker did anything like that. In other words, if there was anything that you could tell based on film or anything else that would stop him. It might be this simple, Mick. They couldn't stop Braden Baker till he got hurt. Cody West comes in. They can't stop him. They just may be having a tough night against the run in general.
That might be it.
Good question, though. And not a great answer. 2nd down and 4 with Kramer from the shotgun. He's got a couple of receivers short side against the sideline on the right side. Kramer's going to keep it on a design quarterback run. He gets the edge. Kramer with a little bit of momentum to the 50. Now he'll reverse field to the 45. Down to the 40. Kramer looking for the right side this time. Down to the 35.
Ben McFadden on the stop. Oh.
What a nice creative run there. Scamper all the way across the field and back from Drew Kramer. Saw a flag down, but it's been picked up, so I think that run will stand.
50 yards is what they're chalking it up to, but I would say it's probably more like a 70-yard run given the back and forth across the field.
At least. Kramer is shifty, an offensive weapon on the ground. Doesn't throw as much when it's not to Londre Griman, who has not been a big factor. Credit the secondary back there for the Tigers of keeping their star receiver mostly in check, at least so far. It's Kramer from the shotgun. This is Griman on the end around that had no chance. That was a jet sweep that was read perfectly
by Caleb Andrews. No, I think that at this point, Scott, probably what we're getting into mindset-wise from the Blazers is do or die. And so we're going to see some of these bigger, riskier plays as the clock runs down here. Just almost crossing the 2-minute line here in the third quarter. Lander's still up 35-9.
We're going to step aside as we have a Torrington player injured. Back after this in 60 seconds on 1330 KOVE and county10.com.
Looking for a trusted partner in your financial journey? At Redden, Kane & Associates, we're more than just CPAs. We're a world-class accounting firm dedicated to providing exceptional service to our clients. From tax management and accounting to estate planning and retirement strategies, our experts provide personalized solutions that help you thrive. Our lasting relationships are based on trust and open communication. Let's make your goals become reality. Take the first step towards financial confidence. Visit rivertoncpa.com.
Porter's Mountain View Supply, your local experts in fire and water. We got everything you need for new installs to accessories, and don't forget our great selection of stoves, grills, and spas. We've been serving Wyoming for over 40 years, so you know you can trust us for quality products and expert service. Visit portersmbs.com or stop by our Riverton or Casper locations today. Porter's Mountain View Supply, located on 750 East Sunset Drive in Riverton.
Welcome back to Torrington. We have a pause in the action as just now the injured Torrington Trailblazer is on his feet, and that is terrible news for them. That is their star receiver, star returner, Londre Griman. He is their biggest offensive weapon, and he is walking slowly to the sideline.
And as we were talking during the break, Scott, look, this is do-or-die territory for the Blazers. Quite frankly, if you don't start putting points on the board here, you do not have enough time to make up a deficit that's 35-9 right now on the scoreboard.
Yeah, especially if Lander's going to keep driving long run drives down the field. And Griman is now on the bench for the Blazers.
Oh, look at that option, Scott.
So we have a give to the running back Sandusky from the shotgun. That's a gain of about 3 yards. Second down coming up. Yeah, it's especially with your star receiver on the bench, there's do or die in desperation, but you have to be able to do it. And Lander secondary has been great. Hollingshead back there.
Superb.
Finn McFadden back there. Parker Burton back there doing a great job. So the options for Torrington are probably even more limited. And you just got to finish the quarter and then finish the game for the Tigers. And you should come out with a victory. Kramer with a play action, but the play is blown dead before.
Boy, that fullback was how far back from the front line there, Scott? I would say 5 yards further than I was normally
deep,
positioned in. So they were looking for a hefty run there
that
with a lot of momentum.
That might have worked. That was going to be a play action. They dragged the tight end over the middle, and it might have gotten in front of the Lander secondary. We'll never know, as that was a false start against the Torrington Trailblazers, so that brings the ball back to the 26 almost. 3rd down and 11 coming up.
Minute to go now on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard.
Kramer from the shotgun has trips to his left wide side, one short side right. The back is to his left. Kramer, this is a designed run, I believe, straight up the middle for Torrington's quarterback. And it's successful. He'll get all the way down to about the 6-yard line, awkwardly landed, and is very slow to get up.
Finn McFadden on a hip, basically a hip wrap, and boy, both landed kind of funky.
Not good. Finn popped right up. Kramer did not. He is still down.
And they're fiddling with an ankle, it looks like.
And hang on, back here in the backfield, we have an injured Tiger. One of the offensive linemen is also down, so we have 2 injuries, one on each team on this play. When we sort this out, it's going to be 1st and goal for Torrington, but they may or may not be without their starting quarterback. Popping up right now for the Tigers. Who was that?
That's Caleb Hamilton. Caleb is our bad luck injury on the defensive side. This is probably the 3rd injury in 3 games for
Finger
Caleb.
Issue earlier in the year. Oh, that does not look good for Torrington's quarterback Kramer. He's walking off very gingerly.
Yeah, Caleb looks like he'll be okay. He's just going to walk it off, probably an ankle. If I had to guess, it doesn't look like anything that's afflicting him above the knee.
Let's bust out our roster here because Torrington, for at least a play, is going to have a backup quarterback in the game.
Now we start to get into the who's who of Torrington, or the who's that, really.
I have good news for Blazer fans. Greiman is back in the game. Londre Greiman is back in the game. I think the backup quarterback is that is Garrett Hager.
They'll start the clock again, so we're down at under 30 seconds at this point on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard here in the 3rd.
There's a sophomore quarterback into the game for the Blazers. Actually, no, it's going to be a direct snap to Greiman. Greiman off left tackle is upended shy of the goal line. He'll fall down at right about the 5. Bring up 2nd and goal.
I don't think that was probably the last play of the quarter there, Scott. So we'll flip sides, and there it is.
4th quarter, Tigers up 35-9. Torrington knocking on the door. Be back for the 4th quarter next here on 1330 KOVE and County10.com.
Life happens, and sometimes it leaves a dent. At Northside Body Shop in Lander, we meet by accident, but we fix your vehicle with purpose. From minor dings to major collision repair, our expert team gets you back on the road and brings your car back to its original beauty. Trust the specialists who treat every vehicle like a classic. Northside Body Shop. Come see us at 323 North 2nd Street in Lander.
Welcome to Hampton Inn & Suites, your home away from home in Riverton. Enjoy top-notch amenities like our indoor pool, hot tub, and fitness center. Start your day with our complimentary breakfast. Stay connected with free Wi-Fi. Relax in one of our 89 beautifully furnished rooms. The Hampton Inn & Suites is proud to support the Riverton Athletics Program and being a part of the Riverton High School Booster Club. We want to wish all student athletes the best this coming season and look forward to being a part of your success.
Start of quarter number 4 from Torrington. Lander Tigers up 35-9 on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard, but Torrington is deep in Lander territory. They have a backup sophomore quarterback in the game, but they also have Greiman into the game, who's going to act as quarterback, it looks like. Yeah, Greiman is lined up in a wildcat. Motion in front of him. He'll fake a sweep and take it himself down to the 5. Greiman over the goal line for a Torrington Trailblazer touchdown. So after the starting quarterback goes down with an injury, Mick, the thought is we have a sophomore backup quarterback. We also have a receiver that we can turn into a quarterback real quick.
I tell you, Gavin Romer had a touch on that quarterback there in the backfield, but boy, it's it's probably easier to teach a quarterback to teach a wide receiver to throw than it is to teach a quarterback to receive in that respect.
I don't know if you're going to see Greiman throwing too much, but he can definitely move in open space, so that makes some sense. Switching to a wildcat for at least those last couple of plays of the drive. PAT is up and good, 35-16, so 19-point deficit for Torrington. Lander, I think, is a good, long, sustained 7-8 minute drive away from putting this one away.
I think you're right, and quite frankly, I think that's. Like Scott, if you manage it right, in that opening long drive for Lander, we saw a 6. At the beginning of this half. Let me clarify. We had a 6. That was roughly a 6 and change drive.
Right.
So if we can sustain that type of production. 11:54 left here in the fourth quarter, so 6 seconds for Torrington. Torrington is going to have to do a very, very good job of putting pressure on these Tigers. And quite frankly, if we're running, the clock is running too. So I think if I'm Coach Burton, I'm reluctant to put it in the air unless I see a real opportunity.
Yeah, I would agree. You may see a pass or two into the flat here and there just to stretch the field, but bottom line is Torrington needs 3 touchdowns. Anything you can do to prevent that by hanging on to the ball as long as you can, the better. Torrington to tee it up.
Now, what kind of formation are we seeing here, Scott?
So this is anticipating an onside kick is what this is, which is not out of the realm of possibility.
I think you kind of maybe have to consider that.
See where the ball is teed up. The ball is actually teed up normally. So we'll see what Torrington decides to do with this kick. They will boot it away to Finn McFadden, who has to race to catch it, but he does at the 10 to the 15. Finn looking for a seam up to the 25 and falling short of the 30, maybe at the 30 for a Tiger first down.
I will tell you, Scott, that's probably one of the notes that Torrington took down across this week after reviewing the tape from the Evanston Red Devil game. We haven't seen a whole lot of action from Finn McFadden on the offensive side of the ball thus far.
That's true. They've only gone at him deep once, maybe twice, if memory serves. The ground game has been so effective with Baker before he got hurt, and since then Cody West, that they haven't had to. It is Cody West still in the game at running back.
And I'll tell you, Scott, I'm optimistic for Brendan Baker as I look at him across the sideline with no uniform on at this point other than some pads on the pants. Looks okay.
I am less than optimistic, but I hope you're right. It is a give to Cody West. That's swallowed up quickly for a loss of 1. Second down coming up. Do have a score from a listener, or viewer rather. In Douglas, 21-0 Riverton over the Bearcats is what we have currently. That's not an official source, but we trust you. Sounds about right.
Thank you, Tony.
Interesting score there from a couple of perspectives. Those are the next 2 opponents for the Tigers after this week.
And Douglas being first. I kind of like that idea of.
They are down a little bit this year, but they're always tough, are the Bearcats. This is Hollingshead from the shotgun on second down and 11 now. Cody West is to his left. This will be a give to West. West, nice lane off right tackle, spinning around for an extra about 5 yards. That spin move, good enough for, I think they'll give him the first down. They will.
And we're here during that run. We'll shuck off two solid tackles, but obviously shoulder tackles, which don't really amount to much, especially when you've got a big guy like Cody West.
For his size, he's got a great spin move.
He does.
He's got a really effective spin. Normally, you discourage running backs from doing that as they're developing because, number one, why tangle up a guy's feet? Number two, you're turning your back to the defense. But Cody West has that down. It was good enough for a first down. So a fresh set for the Tigers. Ball is now moved up beyond the 40-yard line, right at the 40. Hollingshead with a shotgun. He's looking down the field, has a man down the far sideline. That falls incomplete.
That is Caleb Andrews. Boy, really rocketing, and with a little bit more oomph on that ball, Hollingshead would have connected.
Just a little more air, I think. I think that was a good read from Pax. Had him up the seam. I will say that's a harder throw than people think it is up the sideline. It was the short side sideline, granted, but that's a difficult throw to get down. As Bronco fans would know from Bo Nix last Sunday, missing 3 of those. Not that I'm bitter about it or anything. So off the incompletion, going to be 2nd down and 10 with Hollingshead. West to his left, 2 attached right, 2 receivers wide side left. Hollingshead with that shotgun snap and a give to Cody West. Cody, breaking the first level, has a first down for the Tigers and a gain of 14 into Torrington territory.
3 Blazers take to drop Cody West. Quite frankly, I'm seeing a lot of. I'm not going to say eye movement. I don't quite have that good a vision of what's going on, but I'm seeing some micro adjustments on West's part.
I don't want to undersell. Yeah, Cody West, because he's, like I said, he could start on half the teams in 3A. He came up behind 2 excellent Lander running backs in Braden Baker and Caleb Larvey last year. Got to learn from those guys. And you can tell just by watching him, he loves being a running back. He loves hitting the hole, and he doesn't mind being hit. From the Torrington side of the 50 on first down now, it's West again to Hollingshead's left. This will be a play action. And now a throw into the right flat that falls short of the intended receiver. Might have been tipped at the line. Tough to tell. 2nd down.
That was Sawyer Natchell on the other end of that. Ultimately, Blazer actually playing Sawyer more than he was playing the ball. I'm surprised that there wasn't a pass interference call on that one.
So 2nd down coming up.
9:50 on the clock now with 2nd and 10 here at the Blazer 47.
That is the problem with throwing, is if it doesn't work, you're helping out the Blazers with clock time. Torrington down 3 touchdowns. It's kind of the bottom line. They have to get in the end zone 3 times. Lander looking for one more score, obviously, but looking to take some time off the clock in the meantime. Cody West off the draw, big hole initially. That's a first down, falling forward to the 35, right at about 11 yards on the game.
He's getting some solid run after the hit. That hit was exacted on the 40-yard line, and we find ourselves with the ball on the 35. Solid movement from Cody West after the hits.
Fun guy to watch, as is Braden Baker.
Clock ticking down now past 9:30 here on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard.
Cody's numbers on this game are going to be outstanding as he came in to replace the injured Baker about halfway through the 2nd quarter. And he's had no trouble on the ground. The offense since has been 80%, I'd say, Cody West on the ground. As Mick said, clock rolls. Torrington shows blitz. And they will come and get Cody West in the backfield for a loss of 3. That was just not accounting for the number of guys that were coming in the backfield.
3 Blazers all over Cody West about 3 steps after the handoff. And, but, hey, Scott, silver lining. Clock still running at 8:50.
Go, clock, go. Give credit to Torrington. That was a good run blitz, well drawn up there.
So 2nd and 13 now on the 36-yard line.
Lander again showing that same formation. They'll have West to Hollingshead's left, 2 wide side to the right, 2 attached left. Pax with a wheel route and a little bit low throw out to Cody West will bring up 3rd down.
Nobody there either. Drat.
Also a difficult throw for a quarterback, but one on the short side especially the Pax knows he can make.
I can see the steam coming out of Cody West's ears on that one, and I'll tell you what, I think we're going to see another one of those like we saw on defense earlier in the game. Kind of this was my fault, I'm going to fix it on the next one. Let's see if Jim Burton gives him the opportunity.
Hollingshead, the most efficient quarterback in all of 3A entering this game. It's going to be 3rd down and long following the incompletion. Hollingshead this time with West to his right, same formation otherwise, 2 to the right. It's going to be a give to West, spin move back to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be about it. 4th down coming up for head coach Jim Burton. And 1 Blazer slow to get up at the end of the play, but it looks like he is up.
By the way, Caleb Hamilton back in the game after that little ankle injury. Probably just a little ankle biter. Just a little pinch.
He gets beat up quite a bit. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, that Hudson Outlaw is not going to give up.
4th down and 10 now. Interesting moment here for head coach Jim Burton. I don't know. This is why I'm glad I'm up here, but I'm tempted to punt this ball. We'll see what the Tigers want to come out with.
I don't know. We went for it back at the end of the second quarter, and it worked out for us, but yeah, we're going to talk about it.
Yep, Lander Tigers take a timeout. We'll keep it right here. With 7:30 to go in the 4th quarter on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard. Tigers protecting a 35-16 lead. Well, way this road trip, barring an unlikely finish to this game, but the Tigers accomplishing what they want with 2 of the longest bus rides they have to take all year. Evanston with a blowout victory. The game was close at times, but 50-18. Here they are in Torrington, who dominated 2A just a couple of seasons ago, 35-16.
I got to say, Scott, the only variable we haven't fiddled with so far is obviously weather.
Good point.
We're still sitting at about 70 degrees here, well after dark here in Torrington. My God, it's hot. And, it was fairly temperate in Evanston.
It was.
And, I think...
Wasn't even windy down there.
No, it was the hottest day in Evanston, at least as far as we're concerned. The wind is still blowing here in Torrington, still north to south, so Tigers have this favorable wind going for them. So the question is on a punt. A punt doesn't really do you much because it only moves the ball. If we push it into the end zone, we're back to the 20.
So we got here on 4th and 10.
Why not?
With West to his right, Finn McFadden slot left, 2 receivers to that, right, 2 receivers to that right side. That's going to be a false start against the Tigers. Tight ends jumping.
That was Parker Burton on the jump.
And now does this change your thinking at all?
I don't know.
To go for it? I think it does for me.
Yeah.
I think you're done. I think after that, you kick the ball away, but...
I don't know, Scott. At 35-16 with 7:30 left, it's not terrible field position. It's not great. Don't get me wrong. It's not where I'd choose, but I think quite frankly, this is we're into training mode for the Tigers, and let's see what we can do under pressure.
4th down and 15. Hollingshead, same formation. West to his right. They're going to call the same play here. It is a rollout from Pax. He's looking downfield, decides to tuck it. Got a ways to go though. And Hollingshead is going to be brought down short. That's turnover on downs.
At about the 30.
At the 30.
No kick football. For you.
No kick for you. I don't believe that was a design quarterback run. I think there was a read probably downfield to Finn. And if it wasn't there, good job by Hollingshead to decide to try to get it himself. Comes up short. So could have worked out worse, as you mentioned, Mick. Not great field position for the Trailblazers.
This is the luxury of a lead, Scott.
Yeah, exactly. 7:21 on that 4th quarter clock on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard. We do have good news as Drew Kramer is back into the game. Injured starting quarterback has returned for the Blazers. He will flip it around, and then a pass into the flat ends up with Sandusky. For all that work is going to be good for a gain of 1 yard.
But that was Grieman on the throw there, and kind of an interesting, I wouldn't call it a flea flick, but close.
It was what would you call that? That was a pitch on a jet sweep action, and then, Grieman decides to throw it further into the flat. You see wide receiver passes sometimes along those lines, but the throw is usually far down the field with the hope that the secondary has bit on the pitch. Interesting choice to have a receiver throw it further into the flat. Did not work for anything more than a gain of 2. 2nd down and 8 as Kramer has motion behind him. This is going to be Grieman on the jet sweep. Good old-fashioned jet sweep this time, and that's a much more productive play. Good for a gain of about 6, maybe 7 all the way.
And that's another solid stop by Caleb Andrews at the end of that play.
It'll be 3rd down and a long one coming up.
No, Scott, when you, no offense to you, but I think I speak for a lot of the Lander faithful. That's what you just said in that last explanation about equivalent to the Friday Night Lights I Write Wiggle 34 switchblade. I have no idea what you're talking about on that. But
I am guilty of that sometimes. I apologize. That is Kramer. And again, this time faking the jet sweep. He is eaten up in the backfield. Great pursuit there with the motion by the Lander Tigers. from the right side, especially that defense. Actually a loss of a couple, so 4th down and 2 now coming up.
Solid defensive progress made by the Tigers there. And, so we're at 5:35 and counting here on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard. Lander leading it 35-16.
Big play for the Lander defense here. Torrington needs 3 touchdowns, and time is running out. Also some confusion on the formation here as the play clock, plenty of time, down to 12. Kramer with a shotgun. Direct snap to Griman, you're right. And he's close. This is going to depend on the spot. I think he's short, but this will depend. We might even get an old-fashioned measurement here. It's that close.
I think they're going to line up for it. Oh, they're going to eyeball it.
Official is eyeballing it. I mean, it's that close. It's the length of a football. They'll give it to him. 1st down for Torrington.
Why not? You can be a little bit charitable this deep in the game.
I was just rooting for a measurement. You never see him anymore.
5:01 on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard.
That chain gang gets bored over there.
Got to give your volunteers something to do.
Actually, the officials are talking about this now.
Yeah. I don't know. The eyeball from the...
They're bringing out the chains. I got my Christmas wish.
Oh, look at you.
I love the suspense of this, though. That's why I love it. See, they gave him 1st down. I think he's short. We'll see what the chains tell us. In fact, I think he's a good ways short.
And it all comes down to that guy on the right-hand side.
So they'll spot the chain. They'll drag it over. And that is just a 1st down by the nose of the football.
By a stitch.
Tell me that's not more fun. It's not more dramatic.
Only in America do we measure things in chains, and it comes down to not even fractions of inch on that one, Scott.
Good job by Torrington being right back on the ball, using that time to call a new play. And time is obviously a factor for the Blazers, down 3 touchdowns with 5:01 to go in the game on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard. So you have Kramer back at quarterback from the shotgun. Single back to his left. So it'll be a dive to Sandusky, which is met at the line of scrimmage for no gain, maybe a short loss.
Caleb Hamilton on the tackle there with a little bit of an assist, from Gage Troops.
We just got to halftime in Douglas, apparently. 21-0 Riverton. I can't imagine unless I don't know why it would take that long to play a half, but that Jared just got back to me with that information. Throw into the flat is tipped by the receiver and intercepted. That's a Lander Tiger turnover. It is picked off by Caleb Andrews.
That's a name we haven't heard much in previous games. Caleb Andrews is starting to show up on both sides of the ball.
And the kicking game.
Kicking game. We're seeing some solid emergence of some talent, from the Lander, not the Lander bench. They're playing regular, but we're starting to see some regular plays from irregular players.
So Torrington goes to the air on 1st down. It was a good throw, just mishandled by the receiver off his shoulder pads and into the air. Andrews is right where he needed to be. Tigers take over with 4:28 to go and a 19-point lead.
I'll tell you, Scott, thinking about it from a Crossroads perspective, I think we're going to make the grade here.
Hollingshead is under center straight. Wishbone actually behind him. Give us to West. Cody reverses field a little bit, puts his foot in the ground up field for about 6 yards.
There was an early tackle there, a shoestring tackle that West managed to spin his way out of. Some solid running there by Cody West to advance the ball and the clock. 4:10 now on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard.
So you hope for the best for Braden Baker injury-wise. You don't want to rely on anyone running back for the whole season, but it's good to know anyway. If you need West to carry most of the ground game, he has proven in this second half that he can do just that. Straight eye is behind Hollingshead. Everybody is attached on this power formation. Pax under center. Take the snap. Give us to the up man. First guy through and good enough for a Tiger 1st down. That's nearly a gain of 8 or 9.
Is that Caleb Andrews again?
It was.
And some solid downfield running by both Romer and Hamilton to give him some a little bit of extra oomph.
We don't talk enough about the Lander offensive line, how they get downfield on the run game enough. They do a great job of getting to the second level and helping out their backs. A lot of those big numbers that both West and Baker put on are offensive line numbers. A lot of McDonald's should be bought for those guys as a thank you. Same formation for the Tigers, with Pax under center, straight line of backs behind him. This will be a give again, right up the gut and bouncing off a tackle and into the end zone for a Lander Tiger touchdown.
Caleb Andrews.
Is Caleb Andrews.
Holy moly, out of nowhere. You know, this is the interesting part, Scott. I like as players leave the board, new players emerge, and we're seeing some solid runs, solid touches, solid tackles from these other Lander stars.
What I like about it is Caleb Andrews knew enough and had practiced enough at that position. He doesn't play a lot, where he was able to step in. That's good coaching too. Under 3 to go. The PAT snaps a little bit high but gathered, and the PAT is up and good for a 42-16 Tiger lead here in Torrington. Counting down the last 3 minutes after this here on 1330 KOVE and county10.com.
Overhead door, we're your total window and door store. We have garage doors, front doors, storm doors, screen doors, glass doors, sliding doors, shower doors, French doors, wood doors, metal doors for your business or home. And the finest brands of windows and service you come to know. We have the right door for your loading dock. We sell the best hardware, handles, and locks. Overhead door, we're your total window and door store. Overhead door.
Back here in Torrington, where the Lander Tigers are on their way to 4-0 for the first time since the 2020 COVID season, 42-16 over the Torrington Trailblazers in their first conference game of the season.
I think I'd like to forget that one too.
That was a weird year, yeah. Weird all around. There's a line drive kick that will bounce into the end zone. Not sure that wasn't touched, but it falls into the end zone for a touchback. 1st and 10 from the 20 for the Blazers.
Favorable Lander bounce there on a line drive kick.
Defense doing a good job scoring points, not directly, but with the interception. Caleb Andrews, what the series for him. Get the couple of carries and ends up scoring. I think he just got lost behind the big guys, and he did a great job of keeping his feet moving, bouncing off that first line and scampering to the end zone. Kramer, Torrington's quarterback, from the shotgun with the back to his left, two receivers right to left. Kramer looking to throw, airing it out, down the far sideline, has a man that is caught by Grimer, who that time got behind the Lander secondary all the way down to the 41.
So Scott, number 77, freshman Hunter Smith was the Lander Tiger penetrating the secondary there and putting pressure on that quarterback. Not enough, but
Kramer right back on the ball, looking to air it out again. This will be the same play call. Griman down the far sideline. That ball was a little too far out of bounds, falls incomplete.
Close to a flag, in my opinion. I would have been, you got to be careful on those types of things. They were all over him.
No whistle on the play. No flag, rather, so 2nd and 10 coming up.
So I'm seeing some new numbers out there on the field, Scott, that tell me that we are seeing some play, given to our, some of our more mature freshmen.
Which is always a good thing. Get them some real game action. That's a call you don't see often. That's illegal participation against the Lander for the play ended right in front of the Tiger sideline, and oftentimes when you do see it, which is rare, it's celebration from the guys getting onto the field who aren't in the game. So free yardage for Torrington. I'll move them closer inside the 30 now. Kramer with a designed rollout to the left will throw it on the hitch route. That is caught by Griman. Nice little pitch and catch there down to the 15. Should be good for a Torrington first down. Makes you wonder, Mick, as Torrington's in hurry up, have they started the game out like this with this tempo?
It might be a totally different tempo and atmosphere, Scott.
Kramer looking to throw right, hitches it back, now throws on the run, overthrows everybody, brings up second down.
Taj Prine on the pressure there. We're starting to see, like Scott, I'm telling you, every Tiger is contributing to this victory. Is it premature to call it that with 2:19 left on the clock?
There is very little that could happen that would result in a Torrington victory, but the second I say that, it's going to get interesting.
All hell breaks loose. It is still football.
2:19 and 3 touchdowns to go is a tall order, but I guarantee it's happened before. So got to close this game out if you're the Lander Tigers. Kramer from the shotgun. Couple receivers each side, both in tight in the slot. Kramer's going to throw this one out into the flat. That is just off the hands of Sandusky. Brings up third down.
Great rollout play, but not quite enough.
And having a tough day is Drew Kramer. He is hobbling not off the field, but toward his coaches after taking a hit on that throw. He will stay in the game, but he is favoring one of those two ankles.
Solid clock management on behalf of Torrington at this point.
Yeah.
2:15 left on the clock, so, a play or two later, we're at 3rd and 10 on the 15 with 2:15 left.
So in that 3rd and long, as Mick says, it is Kramer from the shotgun. Trips to the right side this time. Snaps a little bit low. Corralled by Kramer. He is on the run. Will float a ball to the front pylon that is incomplete. Good coverage down there. That's a dangerous throw because oftentimes you'll see a receiver come back into the defender on that play when it's underthrown and draw a penalty. That was good coverage, though.
Yeah, Ricky Bailey, who's a second line defensive line, as Romer and Hamilton are taking a breather with that pressure. And quite frankly, that was 15, 16 yards behind the front line there.
Oh, thank you, Tony. I guess I didn't realize that. The Riverton-Douglas game started at 7 o'clock.
Oh.
So that explains the halftime score.
Okay.
That's why they're an hour behind us.
They do it a little different over in Riverton.
I was wondering about that. Jared's pretty good about sending me that halftime score, and not sure why. It may be homecoming over there as well.
2:09 left here on the the Fremont Chevy scoreboard. Lander leading at 42-16. And, if you're just tuning in after tuning out in the first quarter, the theme is kind of the same, but a lot happened in between. But I will tell you, Scott, this is not a game of chapters. This is a game of vignettes and just little things that happen kind of almost in random sequence. Mm-hmm. The kind of a fascinating story.
Well, he had 3 touchdowns in the first 3 minutes of the first quarter of this game. For Lander, 1 offensive and 1 defensive. Out of the timeout, it is 4th down and 10, by the way, as Kramer is backs pass out of the shotgun. He'll gun this one over the middle that is tipped incomplete. Parker Burton getting his hands on that one in coverage, and that will turn the ball over on downs to Lander.
Solid play setup. Just pass was just a little bit out of sync with that receiver.
Yeah, as the quarterback for that in that situation, you have no chance. You have to get the ball down the field and find your best option, and Parker Burton was there. Nearly got that pick in the end zone.
And look at that. Only 2:03 left on the clock. Holy moly. Not much burned in that drive by Torrington.
That's what Lander's going to try and do for the remainder of this game. They can get a couple of first downs here and put this one out of reach. Torrington shows 2 timeouts. I thought they had taken 2, but the scoreboard says 2 apiece.
I tell you, go ahead, Scott.
It is Hollingshead under center with a straight line of backs behind him. This will be a turn, and once again, the give to... Sorry, Mick, I teed you up and you weren't ready.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Caleb Andrews.
It is Caleb Andrews. Sorry, Scott.
I teed you up because I couldn't remember his name.
Well, if we just keep the fumbles up here in the press box, we'll be fine. Jeez, sorry about that.
That was me. That was me forgetting his name.
Me forgetting who I am.
Caleb does have a touchdown on the last drive.
1:30 left on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard.
And Hollingshead's under center with the same trio of straight line backs behind him. Everybody in tight. Hollingshead's going to wait to snap this till the very end of the play clock. Andrews again with a give right up the middle. Nice job fighting forward from Caleb Andrews for a good 4 yards. 3rd down and about 5 coming up.
Freshman Afton Cox is one of those running backs in that I formation there, Scott. So we're starting we're seeing some interesting names starting to emerge.
He had about 3 carries last week in Evanston at the end of the game, and one of them was a solid 10-yard run, I believe.
I tell you.
So that's how you bring him up, but that's exactly how Cody West came up behind, mentioned Caleb Larvey and Braden Baker, who's still on the team, but it does help. Those upperclassmen teaching you definitely helps. Clock rolling, under 36 seconds remaining on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard. This will be a victory formation kneel down. And assuming Torrington does not take a timeout to stop the clock, that will be the end of the game. Does look like both teams are going to depart the field. Final score from Torrington, Lander Tigers 42 and the Torrington Blazers 16.
The Tigers now go to 2-0 on homecoming spoilers.
That's right. 2 weeks in a row and both on the road, obviously. So we'll take a break, come back for the Bailey Tire and Auto postgame show after the Tigers have started this season 4-0, now 1-0 in conference play with this big win on the road in Torrington. Back after this on 1330 KOVE and County10.com.
Looking to transform your home with that perfect mountain-inspired touch? At Altitude Interiors, we're your neighbors here in Lander, bringing decades of family expertise to every project. From stunning hardwood floors to stylish window coverings and custom cabinetry, we'll help you create the space you've been dreaming of. Experience the altitude difference at altitudeinteriors.net.
At Gales Carpet One Floor and Home, we believe every floor tells a story. As a family-owned business with deep roots in Fremont County, we don't just sell flooring. We create personalized solutions for your home. From cozy carpets to stunning hardwood, our expert team guides you through every step. Scan the QR code to learn more. Transform your space with confidence. At Gales Carpet One Floor and Home, we're here to wow you.
Welcome back to Torrington High School, where we have gone final. Lander Tigers take care of the Blazers. A final score of 42-16. Lander now 4-0 on this season, starting as well as you can, obviously. And none of those 4 games really in doubt by the end of the game on the scoreboard. And this will be the first conference victory for the Tigers. The Blazers fall to 2-3 overall and 0-1 in conference play. So step 1, Mick Pryor, we talk about stepping stones for this team this year. Schedule makers, the way it lined up, same schedule as last year actually, but the way it lined up, first conference game is Torrington, a little bit of a question mark. They were receiving, were these Blazers, top 5 votes in the media poll and the coaches poll earlier in the season. Take care of them. Douglas at home next week, and then you got Riverton at home the following.
Scott, I think if we can continue to scud run this, we might be the, I wouldn't call it the dark horse, but almost the ignored horse, in polling and in the look. I almost wonder if, as we go further into this schedule, how does Riverton start preparing for Lander this week?
No.
Based on what they're seeing? So I almost wonder, considering we just changed it up again as far as how we line up, what we're playing, and realistically, we're not showing much in the way of long drives. There is a lot to discover if I am an opposing coach for Lander. I think, quite frankly, we've left a lot of variables out on the table. We've shown quite a few, but I'm quite frankly, I'm optimistic that it's going to be difficult for future teams to really counteract a very broad, diverse, set of plays and players, with this Lander team. This is a solid team right now.
They are a good team. They're a good 3A football team.
And for 34 players, pretty dang deep. I feel like, this is 34 deep, but boy, oh boy.
They are not deep enough to sustain injuries to key guys, so we'll wait for an update on Braden Baker. who is their top offensive performer on this team, just happens to be from the running back position. 34 carries and 198 yards last week. Played a quarter and a half or so of this game to get one touchdown, including an 80-yard drive that was not a score, but punched it in on the following play. And we'll certainly hope Braden Baker is all right. Lander Tigers always do a little bit of a workout following the game. This time it was jumping jacks. And they also have a team meeting that is now concluding. Lander obviously with a big bus ride on the way back, but they're going to be a happy group having won 42-16.
It's always nicer when you've got a win behind you as opposed to anything else. But we leave the Banana Belt down here in Torrington with the wind going. The wind never stopped. My God, the wind never stopped, Scott.
It is Wyoming.
Gee whiz.
Yeah, it was consistent though. You're right, and it never changed direction. It was north to south for more or less from the entire game. Didn't really factor in as much for the game. Lander didn't miss a kick.
I feel like there's a Nebraska joke in there somewhere.
We're just hanging out here on the Bailey Tire and Auto postgame show. In the event we can talk to head coach Jim Burton. Not always a guarantee on road games, which is certainly understandable, but we'll see if we can get some words in from the coach. This is the Bailey Tire Pros postgame show. It's brought to you by Bailey's, proud to support our local athletes. Full-service tire and auto shops at 755 South Federal in Riverton and 1305 West Main in Lander. YO Preps has updated a few scores, Mick. I'm not sure this is not a typo. Full disclosure. 6-man, Burlington 99, Hewlett 40. But because it's 6-man, I do believe it's possible.
Is there some sort of goofed-up scoring system, Scott, that I'm not aware of? Is there like a 12-point safety or what?
6-man's a lot of fun. We've done a couple of games up in DuBois, and it is a whole different animal, literally, different rules, different field size even, but it's a lot of fun to watch. I am not going to speculate as to what, but we're having a very emotional moment involving a couple of the Tigers on the field, and I won't even tell you who that is without knowing what the circumstances are. But the team is rallying around one of its own who was very emotional following that win. Not exactly precisely sure why. Could have to do with the game, could have to do with the young man's personal life. But that's kind of the holdup for the rest of the team getting on the bus and back out to Fremont County. But a moving scene without knowing what's going on.
No, Scott, I would say that this is a lot of giving thanks, and that's great to see. A humble team giving thanks.
They are some of the best young men when you have a chance to interact with them that you could imagine. The Tigers I've spoken to just briefly off the field, great young men. And at the end of the day, Mick, that's what football is. It's not about winning games. No, obviously, that's the goal. That's the team mission, but it's about becoming a better person by the time you're done playing.
And I think that's probably one of the most understated parts of this game that, quite frankly, everybody looks at it from the standpoint of just the violence, the injury, just kind of really the conflict of it. And it's through that growth in conflict, like true conflict, physical conflict, that character is forged. And, we spend a lot of money on our football programs, but it's absolutely important to have, young men like this turn into grown men, with deep character and a stick-to-itiveness.
Yep.
Is that a word?
Sure.
I would tell you in my youth, I'm not entirely sure I really understood it, but as an older man, this is something that this is important for the continuation of the American culture. This is truly part of the American culture in more ways than you can really dissect.
And it's easy to lose sight of that because most of the football most people see is the college and the pro game. And it's still true in college. By the time you get to the pros, they're businessmen in the sense of, they
yeah,
have a job
it's an entertainment.
But when it comes to high school, because all these kids come from different backgrounds and different households, and it's one thing that if you have a good coaching staff guiding for the right reasons in the right direction, it's one thing that they have in their lives, too many of them, that bring them together for something bigger than themselves.
Yeah, and that can't really be understated, Scott. For every one Division I team, there are 50 high school teams.
Absolutely.
And so, like when you think about it from the scale of the types of the number of young men that you are affecting with a positive mindset through a conflict and through basically a series of conflicts, and like starting with the first day of training,
yeah, exactly,
and concluding through the last game and the last second of that game. This is a powerful part of the American mindset and psyche. Not to be a psychologist about it.
No,
but,
it's absolutely true. I coached, and as a coach, that was my favorite part of the job. You spend all week trying to win the game, but you're also providing something that's so valuable for too many, frankly, of your athletes. And these guys make friends for life. Many of them will stay in contact for the rest of their years. So I think the Lander Tigers as a team are getting on the bus. With that, final thoughts as we wrap up the Bailey Tire Pros post-game show and get ready to get back home for Douglas next week.
Well, so Scott, who are you? So we talked about a first half game ball. Who do you want to give that second half game ball and that ultimate game ball to, for what we're doing?
That's a good question. So sneaking in there at the end, Caleb Andrews, I kind of liked how he came up offensively and defensively, but it has to be Cody West in my mind overall.
Okay.
Stepping up, especially offensively. Nobody took a carry after Braden Baker went down, aside from Cody West, and that was not detriment to anybody else. Nobody else had their number called, with the exception of those final two drives, and you get some of the deeper running back positions in there. But Cody West carried this team to the win in the second half.
I think we're finding an identity in this Lander Tiger that is, it was multidimensional going into this game, but I think, Scott, from thinking about it like a diamond in the rough, we just added a handful of carrots to the cut, based on what happened in this game, which is strange to say. Normally, you really start to hammer home on, who you're relying on. Roughly, we're not quite. Are we midway through the season?
Just about, yeah.
Oh man, God, this is flying.
It is. I think we're going to get head coach Jim Burton up here to the press box, it looks like. So let's hang out and get some thoughts here from Coach on not just the victory here in Torington. Once again, final score 42-16, but also on a 4-0 start for the first time since 2020. And right where they want to be are the Lander Tigers as they return home from a road trip, 2-game road trip. Head coach Jim Burton joins us here on the Bailey Tire Pros post-game show. Coach, first on this game, but also the last two games with this road trip that you're on. Come out, not perfectly, never will be, but do what you want to do, accomplish the goal that you want to accomplish.
Yeah, and we tried a few wrinkles, try to see, get some things on tape for other people, but also see what we're capable of. And it's crazy, big run, all that stuff happens. And then, we're 1 block away, we're 2 blocks away, we slipped a backside D-end somehow, just crazy stuff early. Kids are resilient. We preach the count of 0, which means every play's it's brand new. Doesn't matter what happened before or after, what the score is. Every play's a new one. And so, and no matter what happens, we got injuries. Bake, tweaked his knee. We'll see how that is Monday. Swelling and stuff. That's a hard loss. Cody West stepped up, and then Espinoza even stepped up, gets a touchdown there at the end. Your third-string tailback scores a touchdown in time, and it's everybody just stepping up. Somebody comes in, comes out. We get some banged-up guys. We get another guy in. Next guy up. So
that was a great answer, Coach, because you answered 2 of my next questions. But
I was thinking ahead.
I will leave you this. With this, you're going back home with a couple of big games. Obviously, they're all big now. By my count, first time Lander's been 4-0 to start a year since 2020. When they ended up 6-0. Is a bigger picture thing part of what you're preaching to the team, or is it one game at a time? We have one job this week, and that's that game.
It's always it's one down at a time. Mm-hmm. It's one. This weekend it's rest. It's nutrition. It's hydration. It's whatever you're doing right now is the most important thing. Whatever you're supposed to be doing right now, that is what we have to focus on. We're in a 3rd-hour class. That's my job. This down, that down, and that's it. So, it's a good win. There's a pretty tough team, athletic kids here. We just have to go to the next one.
All right, we'll let you go. Coach, congrats on the start to the year, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate the time, as always. There's head coach Jim Burton, Lander Tigers, with a 42-16 victory. And Mick Pryor, final thoughts again before we go home.
I think, quite frankly, we just got the tell from Coach Burton. The mindset is this play and this play only. Don't care about what's going to happen next. Don't care about what just happened. Put the play in front of you as the only thing. The present is it. And quite frankly, that's oh man, if we can keep that mindset up, I think we're going to be unstoppable over the next couple of weeks as the campaign returns home.
Sending our huge thoughts to Braden Baker and his family. Such a talented athlete, and hopefully he's able to continue with the rest of his team for the rest of the season. That we won't know until, as Coach just said, after the weekend and into next week. So Lander Tigers, as a team, did what they had to do for the first 4 games of the regular season, and we've got a couple of homestanding games coming up. Please come out to the games over the next 2 weeks. I know I don't have to convince people to come to the Riverton game, but that Douglas team, they're always tough. They're always physical. They lost a couple of stars, but I know the coach and all the staff and the players would appreciate your noise and your support next week.
Look, Scott, we are leading 3A East at the moment, just in record, both in conference play and total play. Quite frankly, if we can keep that momentum up, we were talking about this on the car on the way in. This is the way you get to that state championship without necessarily having to contend or wrestle with a Star Valley or Cody juggernaut on the way. Now, there will be a point, but if we can keep ourselves healthy and kind of moving in this direction, we might find ourselves in a situation where we can kind of it's never easy, but we might find ourselves in that playoff, in that championship game with the right little bit of luck.
You heard it here first. I guarantee
that's right. I'm not going to back that up with any money at the moment, but ask me next week.
I guarantee you that is the first time that's been predicted for this season.
We have a chance.
You never know.
Oh, it's football, ladies and gentlemen. You know it. It's football. Anything can happen. And quite frankly, luck is on our side at the moment. We have that green luck of the Irish sitting with us.
Luck and a lot of hard work. All right, Lander, with a victory here in Torrington, they return home for the next 2 next week. Mick and I will have that call for you right here on 1330 KOVE, county10.com. For Mick Pryor, Scott Fuller signing off. Have a great weekend.
Go Tigers!